Y'all guys ready?
Dang, it's lucky. Yeah, we live.
We live.
Come, we live. All right, come. Shalom. All right, this is Gms Atlanta Church here in Georgia. Back at it again on the highways and byways. Prophesying the downfall of America, okay, aka Babylon the Great, Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, first and foremost, we want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the 1144 first fruit. All right, it's getting chilly outside, man. Matter of fact, we can start with that scripture. Yes, sir, you already know it, because it's getting chilly outside. When it gets cold, it's a character test, man. It's a character test. You know, we're gonna talk about a few things that have been going on. All right, prophecy-wise, okay, how America's gonna fall since September, early September to pretty much today. The Dow Jones or the stock market has dropped 2,000 points. Okay, I think just the other day it dropped about 400, and the day prior to that it dropped 800 points. Okay, so it shows that America's on a steady decline. But we're gonna proclaim and profess these prophecies that Yahweh Ba'Hashem is setting up and make coming to pass in season and out of season. Whether it's hot as hell, whether it's cold, brick cold outside, man. It don't matter, man. All right, the spirit will warm us up. You know what I'm saying? All right, you got that scripture, that precept?
So,
You got a precept?
2 Timothy 4 and 2.
Okay. Go ahead, man.
2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season.
That's right. He said, preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. That's right. What was that, 1 Timothy?
2 Timothy chapter 4.
Come on. We're going to get that word instant. All right. 2 Timothy chapter 4.
4 and 2.
Come on. All right. Because it's supposed to be instant. All right. So the word instant in the Greek is ephistame. All right. Which means to place at, place upon, place over, stand by, be present, to stand over one. Okay. Place oneself above, but the primary thing is present. All right, it says to be at hand. So if you're at hand, that means you're very close by. All right, to where you can be instantly used to do something. If you have a prime example, if you're at camp, you always want to have your scriptures in an arm's length away, so it's instant. All right, it's right by your hand. Okay, so even so, when you're preaching the word and you're instant, okay, you're present. You're ready to be used, no matter what the season is.
2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word, be instant in season.
Hey, Salakia, the word preach is a synonym to the word teach.
That's right.
A preacher is a teacher. A teacher is a preacher. They go hand in hand.
Yep.
Okay?
And a preacher's supposed to prophesy, you know?
That's right.
In season, out of season, in the elements.
That's right. A preacher's supposed to prophesy. What? Bring out precepts. I did a video on this not too long ago, and it was titled, What a Precept Actually Is. What is a precept? A precept goes into the word perceive, and perceive goes into the word perception. Okay? Perception means a taking beforehand. What is prophecy? Pro and facade. Pro to say, Salakia, pro before, and facade to say. So you're saying something before. So if you're pulling a precept, you're taking beforehand, and more than likely the precept you're pulling is a prophecy.
That's right.
All right, so if you're a preacher, you're prophesying like the brother said.
And these different preachers, see, they teach the precepts of men.
That's right.
And that's why, like the brother said, it means to perceive, because they make you perceive that we're in good times, we're in times of joy, and we're in times of actually happiness and gladness, when really there's nothing but doom and gloom coming to America, man. And we teach the precepts according to the scriptures rightly, because it's a wrong way to divide the way of truth, and it's a right way to divide the way of truth, as it is written in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter.
That's right.
Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
That's right. So be instant in season and out of season. All right. Preach, reprove, rebuke. All right. We read that part.
reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
With all long suffering and doctrine. You have to have the correct doctrine in order to reprove, rebuke, and exhort. Okay? All those words goes into the meaning of correction. But you have to be under the right doctrine, and you have to be corrected yourself in order to correct. You don't want to be in the lot of Romans, the 2nd chapter. All right? You know? Do you have a precept?
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold.
You see, the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. A sluggard would be inside next to the fire, making some s'mores, which is off, okay? Because marshmallows got pork in it, okay? Which is off, all right? And drinking hot cocoa, all right? Sucking on his teeth, damn it, all right? That's what a sluggard would be doing. But the men of the Lord don't care, man. We're going to do it regardless. This is our occupation. And on top of that, this is what we love to do.
That's right.
Me personally, I ain't got shit else to do in this kingdom but preach the word.
That's
and
right.
magnify the name of Yahweh Shemi Awashai. And I'm pretty sure these brothers around me feel the same exact way.
That's right.
Okay? I'm just speaking for myself. All right? Because what? There is nothing in here.
There's nothing here.
We store our treasures up in heaven, man. Will not rust. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing.
Therefore he shall beg and harvest. You know what that goes back to? The 5 foolish virgins who didn't have their oil.
In Matthew 25.
That's right. Now they want to go beg to the ones who do have the oil and try to get some of theirs. No, bro, it don't work like that. It doesn't. Do you think squirrels and bears, when they go into their hibernation, do you think they're bull crapping during the spring and summertime?
Hell no.
No, they're gathering up. They're trimming. They're getting their oil so they can be ready for the wintertime. Okay? It's the same thing we did coming into this wintertime right now. All right? We got enough spiritual and mental fortitude to withstand the winter because we did what we're supposed to do coming in the spring and summer. Go ahead, brother.
That's a quick precept, just going to what you're saying. Proverbs 10 and 5. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son,
That's right.
but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame.
Woo! See, that's exact, man. That's a good precept.
Okay.
Reread that one.
He that gathereth in summer is a wise son.
It's a wise son, okay? Because I know yesterday I've been quoting this scripture a lot. It says a wise man knows times and judgment, okay? So reread that first part.
All right. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son.
That's right. He's wise because he knows the times, okay? He knows it's time to gather and to reap up what he sowed, okay? So go ahead.
But he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame.
Now you got the word impudent, okay? All right, which means unwise. All right, that's the one who is sleeping during the summer and spring when it's time to plant and gather up your crops. Okay, which would go to show you what that's not a wise man. He didn't understand the time and the judgments.
He didn't cap on the time.
He didn't cap on the time. That's why you see what group consistently out on the highways and byways year in and year out. The group of Great Millstone, IUIC, be going docile and dormant during these times. Same thing with all the other camps, man. Okay, they really ain't about it. They don't have faith. All right, that's what it shows. And fuck a snowflake. I want salvation. I'll go out there in the brick cold just to get salvation. Of course, you know, when super inclement weather comes, we have to be wise. You don't want to come out here and it's a tornado forming.
Yeah.
Or a tsunami or hurricane, like, come on now, or a blizzard. But you go and link up and do a live stream.
Yeah, and that's beautiful you said that, because even when you're dealing with warfare, a lot of troops, they have to design themselves and craft themselves to war in the most dangerous weather.
Right.
And what do? They train in the snow. Sometimes they have limited clothing, and they have to build their spirits around whatever weather they're in, because certain troops actually war in different seasons.
That's right.
They know, okay, all right, it's getting cold out here. This is the best time for us to actually fight against troops, because we know that a lot of them don't have fluidity in this time of weather. They so used to the summer war, but when it comes to the winter war, that's a whole nother style of warfare, man.
That's right.
It's chilling, you know. Yeah, because even with shooting, you know, you got to have certain level of fluidity. Your shooting can be off if you're cold, because what your body locks up and things of that nature. But if you constantly around that weather, your body adapts. It adjusts in that time of weather, so to speak, you know.
That's a beautiful point, man. Because even when you go and read about the Second Punic War, and specifically the Second Punic War, okay, that was Carthage, which was the northern part of Africa, which this is where the origin of the name Africa came after this war, okay, because you had a man named Hannibal. He was a Jake. And he had to go up all the way to Italy, but he had to go through mountains, and a majority of his company died. All right, because of the cold. But listen to this, he still almost took him down. But that goes to show you that his soldiers or his warriors in his company or in his legion, they were ready for the cold, even though some of them withered away. But they were ready for the cold because they still put up a fight. Okay, they still put up a fight. But that's when you had a man named Africanus or Scipio come down and go into the capital of Carthage, which at the time I think was Zuma, and you have the Battle of Zuma, and that's when he took it down. Now that's when you get the word Africa. The Greeks already called that land Africa, which in the Greek means land of the hot. So it was already coined that phrase, but when it was taken down, that's when they named it Africa and gave Scipio Africanus his name. So do you have a precept?
Yeah, because just like you said, Africa goes into Africa, which means not cold, because it's known for a hot that's a hot ass region, man. You know, and even when you look at like the Eskimos, they hunt in the cold, man. They get busy in the cold. You know, they gird up, and they actually have a different style of diet, because it all depends on your diet, actually, how long you survive in the cold too. Your transition. A lot of times they had a high fat diet. They ate a lot of blubberous food. You had certain seals and things of that nature, but it actually helped them maintain in that style of weather, man.
Right. And that goes to show you how wise they were too, because they had to, like you said, they had to adapt to their environment or their habitation. Okay, you don't see a polar bear in the heart of Brazil. Okay, you don't see a black bear in North or the North Pole and South Pole.
Hey, panda bears.
And panda bears, they can only
With bamboos. They only live with bamboos.
Okay, even red pandas. Those are only found in the Asiatic areas.
Grizzlies.
Okay? Grizzlies. You got certain tigers that live certain places. Asian tigers. You got I think you have North American tigers.
You have African elephants, and you have Indian elephants.
Indian elephants. Yeah.
But they all adapt to their environment and what is suitable, and what they need to do is what suits them or suffices for the area that they live in. It goes in the same thing like we read, being in season and out of season. We're all soldiers here. All right? That's why we endure hardness as a good soldier. So we endure the elements. Whatever habitation we're in, whether we're in Atlanta, me and the brother was talking about before coming up here, my brother in Chicago being that brick cold, up in Detroit, I've attended the DC camp for a whole year on the outside. It was negatives while they're out there. I went through, I won't say I personally, but we went through one of the worst blizzards DC has ever had, okay? And they're still out there preaching, all right? The snow was literally up almost to my torso, okay? Literally. When I stepped outside, the snow was up to my torso. The brother's still on the YouTube, still putting up at the time they were putting up the sequence of videos. But they were still doing their videos. They're still going out to the highways and byways, no matter how cold it was.
Well, I was gonna say that's why you know when it tells us in Exodus the 15th chapter that the Lord is as a man of war.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the Most High put our spirits in specific zones that were fit for us for the battle. That's why really through the spirit, you shouldn't even be in that spirit of leaving your post, literally being a derelict. Leaving your post and trying to go to another post, man. If the Most High found you and put you in a GMS Atlanta camp to the best of your ability, you needed to stay in a GMS Atlanta camp.
That's right.
The Most High had his zone because it might fit you as a soldier. You never put, when you watch those certain like different games or different type of soldier flicks, like Expendables.
Yeah.
Think about the movie Expendables with Sylvester Stallone, Jason, Terry Crews, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it. Jet Li. These are all soldiers that were the top. They were top soldiers in whatever they was good at. If you were good at the gun, you the top soldier of guns. If you were military vehicle person, you the top person. But they didn't put them all well. No, the Most High has us all in the right positions. Man. All right, so like the brother was saying, hey, it's all the settings of the battle.
That's right.
Certain men are in battle zones where your spirit and your ability to deal with it has you fit to be in an Indiana or Chicago or Alaska. But then on the flip side, hey, his brothers in South America, in Trinidad, you can only imagine the heat is coming from Trinidad, the heat in South America, the heat in Mexico.
It's really that humidity.
The humidity, you see what I'm saying? But hey, I hit you with that. I'll be in a tough decision between whether I want to deal with super cold or super heat.
Yeah.
You know, but I just want to throw that out there, brother.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Because guess what? Like what Esau does, all right? He puts different posts in different parts of the world. But the thing Esau does wrong is he spreads the army thin, and he puts his men for a certain amount of time, then they get shipped off to another base.
Right.
Okay, they have assignments, or what they call it.
6 months in Afghanistan and 6 months in Iraq.
2 years at this base, 3 years at that, then you have to go to another one. No, the Lord doesn't do that. He sets his post up, doesn't stretch his army thin. Okay? He doesn't stretch it thin. He has a set group of men where he needs them to do and to fulfill certain obligations and missions. The spirits here are that are in the Atlanta camp are for Atlanta.
That's right.
Like the brother would say, we're
tailored,
and we're talking in spirit. We're supposed to be stagnant Atlanta member camps. Okay? Yes, at times we do visit other camps, but we do not have the spirit of to be nomadic, jumping from one camp to another.
No.
Okay? We pretty much root ourselves in the Atlanta camp with the brothers that were around. That's how. There's a show called Band of Brothers, and then you have Saving Private Ryan. They were in Saving Private Ryan. They're a band of brothers that work together to go accomplish a certain mission. All right. Another good movie, Fury, with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
They were in a tank, but they were the same men working with each other. That's how they were so in cahoots with one another, because they know how each other work.
Yeah.
Okay, you put the shell in the tank. Okay, you close it. Okay,
they had such good flow.
You have a good you hold the
cohesiveness.
You hold the 50 count. Okay, even when their tank went down, they when they tank went down, that's when they did the most damage.
That's right. When they broke down, they couldn't move it.
And they couldn't move. That's when they did the most damage.
Yeah, you ain't no Metal Gear, ain't no solid snakes. And that's a spiritual name in itself too, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no solid, Metal Gear solid snakes in Israel, man. Where here it is, you bad in the army. You know how to fly planes and
do every goddamn
sailboats. You know how to you just know how to. You just a super soldier.
Super survivor and shit.
Like nah, those ain't got it set up like that. That's why the Lord's army is 144,000 trained expertise men.
That's right.
And I got a quick precept for you if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. Man.
This is Habakkuk 2:1. And it says, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me up the tower." Now towers you don't build a tower in the middle of a place and decide 6 months later, we're going to uproot this whole tower and let's move it 6 miles this way.
Because even towers are stationed around treasured cities or certain fortresses, so to speak. So when they built those towers, they want them to be set there for a particular reason, and that's the primary station. A lot of towers be rendezvous quarters, man.
That's right.
You know, like here.
You do your rounds.
Mhm.
You might go from one tower to the next tower. You know, you walk around. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
That'll be your rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go from that point to that point, and then you trade off. Like, all right, man, my watch is up. Here's the keys, brother.
Mhm.
How about Shimmy Awashai? It's on you.
If I may say too, can you reread that first
Yeah.
word?
This is Habakkuk 2:1, and it reads, "I will stand upon my watch."
He said, "I will stand upon my watch." Now, when you read the scriptures in Philippians chapter 4, verse 1, it says to stand fast in the Lord. Okay, and also the scriptures say, "Blessed are the ones who watch." I think in Luke 12:37. All right. So if you're standing fast in the Lord and standing upon your watch, that means you have 10 toes down in one certain place. A watchman is not wavering and looking everywhere, or walking and running everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. They're holding posts. That's why it's pivotal, even at camp, to hold posts. You're literally standing watch. Okay. So on the broader sense, you watch that movie Troy. Okay. With Brad Pitt again. He in some spiritual movies, man. With Brad Pitt again, when his army came in a multitude coming from the sea, when you look the walls of Troy, there were certain posts, okay? And you had certain men standing watch and seeing that Achilles and his army were coming to their shore.
Mm-hmm.
But they would blow the horn, close the gate,
Yep.
but they would see it because what? They stood their watch.
That's right.
All right. They weren't just walking around lollygagging. All right. They were diligent standing and being a watchman.
And what's most times closest to a watchtower? A bell.
A bell.
And the word bell goes into the word bellum, which means war. So when they'll ring that, you'll see them pull that big string, bing, bing, and everybody knows when that it's because certain bells excite certain particular sounds.
Tones.
Yep, certain tones.
That's why when Yahushua come back, we're gonna hear that big horn.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, that war horn. All right. Even I want to say the brother Atazawam spoke about King David and his army. He had drummers. Okay, coming in. When them drummers, hearing those drums is intimidating.
Hell yeah.
I know I'm quoting a lot of movies, but when you watch that movie The Patriot, if I'm not mistaken, with Mel Gibson and the dude who played the Joker, I forgot his name. Heath Ledger. All right. Even so, in the Revolutionary War, they would play drums coming to go battle the British.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be like
Come marching.
do. All right, you would hear him coming, man. All right. And
He always had the fluter in the
the
front.
fluter in the front
Mhm.
with the flag holder.
Flag holder,
You
yeah.
know, but you can keep going in the Habakkuk.
Hey, come. This is Habakkuk 2:1. And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower.
It set me upon the tower. And usually a tower is at a high elevated position, man. Okay? Get Luke 1:69 real quick. Real quick, and we'll go back to that because I want to make a point of that. Luke 1:69. Yeah. So reread that.
There you go.
While they get it.
This is Habakkuk 2:1. And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower.
And set me upon the tower. Go ahead, brother.
Luke chapter 1, verse 69.
Now, Luke 1 is it talks about the birth of John the Baptist. Okay? But go ahead.
And he hath raised up an horn of salvation.
A horn of salvation. Horn goes into its representation or metaphor of the power. Okay, go ahead.
For us in the house of his servant David,
Uh-huh.
as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant.
No, go to verse 76.
Come.
Salaki.
Luke chapter 1, verse 76. And thou, child, shall be called the prophet of the
The
highest.
prophet of the highest. Okay, so if you're a watchman standing on a tower, you're at the highest position.
Yep.
And to be a prophet, that's the highest position on earth, man. That's why when you read through all the way up to the book of Samuel, it was prophets ruling the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we got our first king at Saul.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to read iterate the fact in Acts the 13th chapter when you read from verse 20 on down to verse 22.
And what showed that Saul was a true king? Because he prophesied. Then in that parable they say is not Saul even amongst the prophets. So even kings, top kings were true prophets too.
That's right. That's right. Even David was a prophet. Solomon was a prophet.
Moses.
Because when Saul summoned back Samuel, he said that the Lord dealeth with me not more in dreams or visions. Showing that he was a prophet.
That's right. Dreams and visions. Even when you go into 1 Samuel, the 9th chapter, it talks about a seer. That
seers.
They were called seers first, meaning they had the dreams and visions. But reread Luke 1:79, and then we could go back to the Habakkuk. And we could get
Luke chapter 1, verse 76. And thou, child, shall be called the prophet of the highest.
The prophet of the highest. So you're going to be a prophet is the highest, what is it? The highest, servant, or the minister, because it's
minister.
The highest ministry you can possibly have.
Yeah, because like we were saying that Thursday about the priest.
Yeah.
The king couldn't, just because you was a king doesn't mean you could go within the Holy of Holies. And the Holy of Holies within the temple, that's where the spirit of Yahweh dwelt at. But just because you was a king, if you weren't, that doesn't mean you could go in there. So I just want to throw that out there that goes to show you that the king didn't have access to everything according to even in Israel.
Yeah.
But you know what? The prophet could.
Yeah, certain.
So it's like,
but I was gonna say even the kings couldn't even touch the Ark of the Covenant, man. Just because you were king, you might have been a Judite king or a Benjamite king. If you overstepped your office or overstepped your boundaries, you could get put to death too.
Just like those 50,000 men that touched the ark when they returned back from the Philistines.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish the rest. It says, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare his ways. The face of the Lord is the scriptures.
And that's why it's spiritual that Moses, when he got the divine revelations from the Most High, where did he go? He went to the top of the mountain. He didn't go on the plain. He didn't go on the flat land. He didn't go into no river or no cave.
yeah, right.
You know,
Right.
he went to the top of the mountain because the Most High, going to the top of the mountain represents being in an elevated state. All right, even now, even though we're on a plain or a low land, truly we're a summit in the spirit. This is our spiritual government quarters, man. You know,
That's right.
that's why we're known as what? The mountain of Israel. These different governments that when they have assemblies, they have what you know is G20 summits. You know, these different summits or different gatherings, and that's really the top individuals. Now, are they on the top of a mountain? A summit is the top of the mountain. Are they on the top of the mountain? Hell no.
Yeah, right.
But they're the top. Each and every one of them represent the top of the mountain on whatever particular country they live in. Prime ministers, different kings, so-called kings or presidents. You know, what you want to say?
I was just going to add to what you were saying. That's why a lot of those top summit meetings, what are they happening at? In New York City, which New York City is known as the Empire State.
Empire State.
All right, New York City was actually the first capital of America. Before it was moved to D.C., it was in New York City. And that's all spiritual to the fact of where did our government establish at?
New York.
Right in New York, starting with with Abba Bivens, Elder Abba Bivens, going all the way down to our apostles and elders. It came right out of the Empire State, that top mountain, which is New York City. What do they say? What does everybody in the world right now say? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. All right. So it's true. It came out of, and then what is it? It started out in Harlem,
Which Harlem means Jerusalem.
which Harlem goes back to Jerusalem. All right. Which Harlem is a spirit. Hey, you know, I tell you, brothers, a quick little note. When I moved to New York, all right, through the spirit, when I moved to New York, the first time I visited New York, the guy that we went to that was showing us around, he was like, well, where do y'all want to see? I ain't want to see the Statue of Liberty. I ain't even want to see Times Square. I had all those things in my head, like, damn, I want to see the garden. But the very first place I went to was Harlem. In my spirit, I wanted to go to Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So it was like 11 o'clock at night, in the middle of a week. And where we at? On 125th Street. Why? Because my spirit was drawn to going back to Jerusalem. Right? All right? I just want to throw that out there.
That's the parable that King Solomon was talking about. He searched for the truth.
Yeah, Songs of Solomon.
Yeah.
But even going back, showed how the prophets had the highest lot, and we were talking about the Levite priests and how certain even kings couldn't do certain things at the Levites. I just wanted to get a quick account of that. Go to 2 Chronicles chapter 26 and 16. Start there. Let's go to the King Uzziah and see what he did.
This is 2 Chronicles 26, verse 16. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction.
That's right. His heart was lifted up, meaning he got proud. Go ahead.
For he transgressed against the Lord Yahweh, his power, and went into the temple.
It said he transgressed against Yahweh, his power. But what did he do to transgress? He went into the temple. Not everybody can go into that temple. This was a king of Israel at the time. Not even him could go. Certain people could only go into the temple. All right? You got the sons of Aaron and certain other Levites, the high priests and so on and so forth. But even the king couldn't go into the temple like that. Go ahead. I would say there's one exception in King David when he got
That's
the
what I was gonna get that.
All
I
right?
got that
Even
too.
Yahweh Shai spoke of him when they talked about what was it, doing the work on the Sabbath? And he's like, did you not read about King David?
Cut him with that.
You didn't. And that's why every time they came to Yahweh Shai, he cut them and they would never come back.
Yep.
All right, but go ahead.
And went into the temple of Yahweh.
And we're going to keep reading to show you what, the punishment that he got for doing this transgression. All right, go ahead.
To burn incense upon the altar.
All right, to burn incense upon the altar. Get Exodus chapter, I want to say 30, Exodus 30 and 7. I want to say. Go ahead.
I'm going to read that again. And went into the temple of Yahweh to burn incense upon the altar of incense.
All right, to burn incense upon the altar of incense. Now get Exodus chapter 30 and 7.
Exodus chapter 30, verse 7. And Aaron shall burn
It says
thereon.
to who? And Aaron. So if Aaron was designated to do these things, that means the sons of Aaron are designated to do these things. Not King Uzziah. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Aaron being the high priest.
Aaron being the high priest, the water. Go ahead, brother.
And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning.
And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. Today we can do that because we're all kings and priests. Okay? But go into reread that part that you're at. Because Uzziah went in there to burn incense. No! We just read in Exodus 30 and 7, Aaron. So the descendants from Aaron can burn the incense inside the temple. So go ahead.
Esau captivated by his future owners.
This 2 Chronicles 26, 16.
Should be spectacles. That word spectacle goes into a god.
But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. For he transgressed against Yahweh, his power, and went into the temple of Yahweh to burn incense upon the altar of incense.
Keep going.
And Azariah, the priest, went in after him.
Listen to this, go ahead.
And with him 80 priests of Yahweh.
They came in deep.
80.
Yo, bro, what's up? Why you in here? Go ahead.
That were valiant men.
Valiant men, so they weren't no pushovers.
Tough.
Okay? Samuel was valiant, hewing people in pieces and stuff, man. The king.
Hey, what's more? You gotta think. You gotta think when you was a king. Like for instance, like the brother on the camera always goes into. King David did so much bloody work that when King Solomon came into power, it was a time of peace.
That's right.
So every king wasn't a bloody king, but being a priest, what's more bloodier? What's more bloodier than being a priest of Israel?
You gotta sacrifice this.
Your job is to do the office of sacrifice. Bloody, that's blood. You were always, so like you're saying, the priests, they weren't this bullshit that these Edomites try to push with these Catholic priests. Weak and feeble. You know how much strength you probably had to do to haul a whole ram across the room?
During that time when everything was bigger?
How strong your stomach got to be to burn out, because there's certain parts you got to deal with of those different animals too.
That's right.
You know, of course those animals didn't stink at you know, because they was eating whole diets, but at the same time you still dealing with a immense amount of blood, entrails, and things of that nature.
That's right.
You know, on a daily.
Daily. You go to bed to get up to go do it again.
You had to be a man. Okay.
It's a man's job.
Go ahead, brother.
And they withstood
It's a man.
Uzziah.
And you women, and that go to show you.
Nah, I'm thinking about the women too.
Because we thinking we dealing with the temple and we're dealing with the spirit of the Lord. Like I had to tell my, me and, like I say this, me and my real, we got in a conversation the other day, and I was like, see, that's why women can't be prophets. Women, now don't get me wrong, women of the ancient world, they were bloody too.
Yeah, Judith.
When you read the account of Judith, she chopped that I forget what the king's name was, but chopped this goddamn head off, man, and threw it to her handmaid and threw the alley-oop to her into the pouch, and went and carried it. So that go to show you our people were we were a lot. I don't even know what word to put on it, but there was a lot more of that than we have now, man.
Yeah.
I don't even like cleaning chicken.
I hate picking on my dog's poop.
Just be ready to throw up.
Shit.
So it go to show you that office, that's a special kind of office, man. That ain't no office for the weak-hearted, man.
That's right. So go ahead, bro.
And they withstood Uzziah,
They withstood him, so go ahead.
the king, and said unto him, it appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto Yahweh.
So this don't pertain to you, playboy. You ain't supposed to be doing this. You ain't supposed to be in here. What are you doing? Because it said they withstood him, meaning they held him up. They probably surrounded him.
Oh yeah.
What
Checked him.
you doing, bro? Because it's a serious thing to transgress the Lord, especially inside the temple, who he already had men designated to do, like we read in Exodus 30:7. Aaron was the one to burn sweet incense every single day in the temple. Okay? Not the kings. All right? The high priest are. So go ahead.
But to the priests, the sons of Aaron,
Oh my gosh. The scripture can say it better than anybody. It just cleared it right there. It just told Uzziah, why are you burning incense? We just clarified it in Exodus 30, who can burn the incense. They reiterated it to Uzziah. Only Aaron, go ahead,
that are consecrated
keep going.
to burn incense,
So consecrated goes into the word holy. So holy goes into the word separate. There's a separate particular people who can burn the incense in the temple. And
Checks
it's
and
not
balances.
you. Okay, go ahead.
to burn incense, go out of the sanctuary,
Get out. Go ahead.
for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be.
You sin.
Trespass, yeah.
You sin. Okay? Trespass and transgress. Because earlier it said he transgressed. Okay? So you sin. Get out. You're unclean right now.
They kicking the king out.
Exactly. They kicking it. That's how pivotal being a priest is. Therefore, you should think and ponder upon this every single day today. Okay? Because we take that office too. All right, go ahead. Because we're able to come out in the highways and byways and do what we do now. All right? Only the Levites could judge the children of Israel at the time.
I got something for you.
You know? Can I finish
Yeah,
this
of course,
out real quick?
of
Go
course.
ahead, brother.
Neither shall it be for thine honor from Yahweh power.
That's right, go ahead.
Then Uzziah was wroth and had a censer.
He got mad and had a censer. A censer has a little chain and you have your little
Yeah, you have the like the I forget the word for it, but it actually holds the incense.
It holds the
incense emits out of the joint. You'll see it in those different Catholic churches.
And then you wave it around like that. It talks about a censer in the book of Revelation as well, when they come and present the prayers unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So go ahead. That's what he had in his hand. He was mad and he said reread that part.
Then Uzziah was wroth and had
angry or livid. So go ahead.
a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even rose up.
So he started getting judged immediately. All right, he started looking like one of these people walking up down the streets right now.
Turn to a fucking cracker.
He started turning leprous into a self-proclaimed white person.
Yeah, he looked like when was that dude on Mortal Kombat 3 when Cabal took his mask off?
Oh yeah.
The spirit
Turn all the way white.
That's right. You know, that's what he started. He started literally changing colors. Like who was that?
Miriam, yeah.
Yep. Just like she started. Even Moses, when he put his hand to his bosom and he put it back and it came back to color. But he started changing. But why? Because he started being rebellious. You know what I'm saying? For doing what he was ought not to do in the temple. All right, bring your precept up, buddy.
Yep, this is
beautiful.
Deuteronomy 17 and give me 1 second. This is dealing with the king. I'm gonna start at Deuteronomy 17 and 18. And it reads, and it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of which is before the priests, the Levites.
So it's reread that because that's straight to the point. Man.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
the king got read this. All right. So like.
Now I was just gonna say, because even certain books are reserved for certain Levites. When you go into the law, which are the first 5 books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, more so Leviticus is really reserved for the Levites, man.
Leviticus.
That is Leviticus, pertaining to the Levites, you know? All those different laws when you're dealing with incense, different offerings, dealing with the temple, the construction of the temple, and all these different complex matters dealing with the administration of the people, that wasn't for all of Israel. Now we read it today for understanding, because everything is upgraded in the spiritual, and we're a nation full of kings and priests. But that administration was reserved and it was sanctified to the size priests.
That's right.
Like you said, like the brother said, Aaron and his sons.
That's right. And that's why in that same thing it said consecrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, meaning it was separate. It was a certain tribe who was supposed to do this. Okay, but like you said, like we're all kings and priests. That's why Paul wrote the Epistle of the Hebrews.
Yep.
Okay, because the Hebrews were still sacrificing turtle doves and ox and sheep.
Right.
When they didn't know about Yahweh Shai, but he had to tell him about Yahweh Shai, who's the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai. Just want to put that out there.
Right.
Okay? But the Hebrews at that time were still doing the things of the Levites. They're probably still going to certain Levites and asking them to do this because I sinned.
They were.
But no, man, we had Yahweh Shai at the time. That's why you have the entire book of Hebrews, especially chapter 3, going at 9, 10. I think chapters 9 and 10. I think, yeah, just the whole book.
The whole book, yeah.
The whole book. All right.
And that's why it's so deep. It's so deep of a book. When you're dealing with the book of Hebrews, you have to really know that Old Testament to really understand what Paul was speaking about. Because Paul was a master. He was a master Pharisee. So his whole thing, he knew about them laws. He knew about the beginning to the end. Because really the Pharisees' administration really stems really out of the priesthood.
Yeah, Sanhedrin.
Yep, out of the Sanhedrin. You had the Sadducees and you had the Pharisees, but the Pharisees more so took the office of the priests. So when Paul was speaking to those individuals, he was basically breaking it down onto how Yahweh Shai was the new priest.
That's right.
Or he was truly the old priest after the order of Melchizedek, showing that he was Melchizedek, but he was that priest to come back and to renew the law, and everything became spiritual after Yahweh Shai died and he sacrificed himself.
That's right, and if I can add too, because you got to put yourself back into that the world that was going on during that time. When the Sanhedrin came into the mix, they had several years building up their, for lack of a better term, they clout amongst Rome and Israel. So by the time Yahweh Shai came on the scene, man, them Levitical priests, they had such a strong hold on Israel.
Hell yeah.
And that's why Paul had to come back behind them and tell them, hey man, Yahweh Shai, he basically accomplished that. So now the sacrifice is spiritual and it's different now. Because of course you think them Levitical priests is going to tell you not to sacrifice when the scriptures in Matthew, the book of Matthew tell you how those priests within the temple were making money off.
Oh, they was living fat.
They was living fat. So why would they now tell you, oh yeah, you don't got to come to me and buy doves or buy lambs or buy rams or whatever the case may be to make your sacrifice, because the person we just had put to death covered that.
Oh, and the temple is done away.
But even also he was telling them that Yahweh Shai was the perfect because he had no blemish. Because you can't sacrifice. Get Malachi chapter 1. Start at 1. Okay, because that whole book goes into the Levites.
Yeah. You want me to finish it with the king or you want me to
Yes,
drop it?
please.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 17 and 18 again.
That was a good scripture.
And it says, and it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. So even that was part of their, you know, when the king of Babylon or these other kings or the president, when they get in the power seat, there's certain things that they got to do. So the king, he had to be a master of the law himself too, because he's not a judge just to sit there and pop women and get fat and rich. His being a king, see, that's the difference between being a king of Israel and a king of these other nations. These other nations set up kings that just live fat and live off the backs of the people. But our kingdom is set up over a kingdom of being judges, being a judge, judging matters, great or small. Okay? So he had to know the law. He had to be a master of the law.
Prime example, Solomon. When Solomon first took the office of the king of Israel, the Most High had him to judge a matter to see if he was actually the best candidate, or he was fit for it, which of course through the Spirit, it was already known that he was, because the Most High knows all things, but he had to get tested with his judgment skills.
That's right.
Well, that's why he asked for the wisdom and discernment in 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter.
And everything else was added onto him.
Yeah, everything else was added to that well pleased Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shai for him to do that. Or well pleased Yahweh, I may say.
Yeah.
For him to do that. Okay, probably just went over some Christians' heads.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna keep verse 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life. Matter of fact, can I get a real quick scripture?
yes, can I make this point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, make Proverbs 1 and 1.
Because even when you go into Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, he said he opened and read to the whole nation. But out of what? Out of Levitical, it had to read out of a Levitical book.
Yeah.
Okay? You got it.
Like Barzon, we say some of these high holy days, the priest will get up in front of the whole congregation and read all the laws.
Yeah, they'll read all of them.
Like all the laws.
That's what we do.
That's why what we said.
You know, that's what we do already. Like Ezra did.
Yeah.
He stood in front of the people all day.
We had the podium.
Yep.
You know, they said he had a podium, and then he said he had somebody. He had a reader for him. It's the same principle. That's how you know the Spirit is with us, because these Jewish fake Khazards, they don't bring the word out like this.
Yeah.
Or thus saith the Holy Scriptures, the Torah, how the Torah and the Tanakh is brought out. These Christian preachers, they don't do it. Who else does it the way that we do it except us? Nobody. Okay.
But even going further back, okay, they weren't necessarily reading, but just like you said, Ezra, when you go in the book of Nehemiah, they had somebody reading for them. That's why Yahweh Shai sent the disciples out in twos and threes. But even when you go back to the book of Exodus, Moses wasn't alone. He had his translator, Aaron with him. The Lord didn't have him alone. He had to say something to Israel. He was speaking to Aaron. Aaron was speaking to the people. It's the same thing of what we're doing right now.
Yep.
We're literally reading the book of the law. We're in the book of the law right now.
Yeah, basically.
We're in the book of the law, reading it to our people. You know, picture.
Proverbs 1 and 1.
All right, come. This is Proverbs.
Well, I'm gonna read this first before you read that. This is the point. Deuteronomy 17 and my thumb keep pushing it back up to the top. 17 and 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord, his power, to keep all of his words of the law and these statutes to do them. Now read the first Proverbs 1 and 1.
Come. This is Proverbs 1 and 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel.
King of Israel. All right, keep going.
To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding.
Yeah, what is the instructions? That's why when you go into medieval history, like when you read about King Charles V, which he was definitely he had to have been an Israelite, because when you study his history and how he moved, he had a time. With you brothers, you really should look into King Charles V and his day-to-day regimen. Because he would get up in the morning, he would have his advisors, his priests. He would have a priest who come and bring his readings, and he would judge matters. He would get up early, have his breakfast. He would go, he would talk to his advisors. Then he would go out amongst the commoners, the regular citizens of the people, and he would read and he would hear the different matters, no matter how small or great. See, a lot of you Israelites and amongst Israel, you think that you get so big in the spirit that you think that you can't. That's too small for me, man.
Yeah.
What about Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Shai wasn't in that spirit of, that's too small for me to deal with that matter.
Yeah, Yahweh Shai had a long dialogue with a harlot, man. Harlots. He spoke to multiple harlots. You know, the woman at the well, you know, Because at the end of the day, just like you said, it's a thing of judgment. This thing isn't bigger than us. Even with certain individuals, you have to actually sometimes dialogue with certain people to see their faith level, man.
That's right.
Yes.
Because that's the importance. And it's only known through what? Rapport. Just like you said, just like that king, even though he was in the highest official seat, he could have popped women all day. He could have drunk the nicest of wine and drinks all the days of his life.
Dainties.
But he knew he had the citizens in his heart. He really was a true king, so to speak.
Yes.
And he wanted to figure out the gripes and what was going on in these individuals' daily lives so that he actually be low with them.
At the heartbeat of the people.
Yep.
Hey, our first king. Can I get one more scripture, please? Can you get Hebrews 11? Hebrews 11 and go to the part about Moses.
What's that? What did it say? No, it's not.
Because our first king, what did our first king do? Our first king, which the scriptures tell you our first king was Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Moses decided to not be called the grandson of Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So what did that mean? He wanted to suffer with the people. He wasn't in that spirit of I'm gonna kick my feet up and have big booty hoes feed me grapes all goddamn day. All right, you got that?
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. Verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Now Moses was the first king of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Scriptures tell you that. I think in was that Deuteronomy?
Mm-hmm. Called King of Jeshurun.
King of Jeshurun. Yep, keep going.
Verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction. And I remember I had gotten into a conversation with my father, and because Jake in the world, see, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're very selfish people. They're egotistical, they're ego driven, they're all about themselves. What makes me feel good? I'm not going to give to my son because I want it for myself. I'm not going to do for her because I want it for myself. Our people are very ego driven. This move that what Moses at the time did, I don't want to get ahead of myself calling him King Moses, but I can. I'm not going off. But
Malak
Moses,
Masha.
Yeah, King Masha.
Yeah.
As the fact that he had it in himself to suffer for his people, and his people wanted to put him to death.
Yeah. Even
Fucking
going back
niggas.
to that record when he did for those 2 Israelites.
Yep. Now imagine if we didn't have a spirit like that, a spirit like Moses, a spirit like Yahweh Shai. These great spirits that were selfless.
Joseph.
What if Joseph went to Egypt and said, "Man, fuck them niggas"?
Daniel.
Hey, you went into that the 48 laws, number 18. It's talking about be selfless.
Yeah.
Don't build a fortitude around you.
Yeah.
Have allies and stuff like that. That's what he did. He made allies with the Heavenly Father and His Son by doing that.
Yeah, with the commoners, so to speak.
Yeah, because with the laws and statutes that the King Charles went by, they kept the kingdom going. He wasn't interested in just laying back. He was interested in solving the root of the matter of
Beautiful.
getting the enemy out the way and perpetuating the kingdom that they was living in.
Building the moral structure in the little ones, so to speak.
Hey, brother, can I get something for you?
Yeah, you got it.
Get that Philippians 2 and 6.
This is Philippians 2 verse 6. Who being in the form of the Most High, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High.
Hey, keep reading. We're going to break it down. Keep reading.
But made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of men.
That's Yahweh Shai.
You get Sirach 3 and 18.
But that's Yahweh Shai right there.
Yep.
He died. He thought it not robbery, because what? When you read John 2 and 24, it says he knew all men. Okay.
Yep.
When you go into his baptism in Matthew, the 3rd chapter, the Spirit descended on him like a dove. All right. When you read in one of the Gospels, it said descended on him like a dove in the body of the form. Therefore, he got all power. He knew all things. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he could do. But instead, he thought it not robbery. He took no reputation, and he was in the form of a servant.
So you Alazars, you Alazars, you Joels. We throw him in the mix since the brother put it in my ear, right? Because he's right. These Zabots. All of y'all trying to gain a reputation from yourself.
Yeah.
That's why we say you're not in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Because you're seeking vainglory.
That's right.
Here it is, Yahweh Shai. He wasn't about his own reputation. That's a beautiful scripture. And he's the King of Kings.
King of Kings.
Lord of Lords. Matter of fact, somebody get Sirach 3:18 and get Galatians what is that? 4:1.
What's it saying?
This is Sirach chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself.
Who's more humble than Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Shai laid his life down for us, and we ain't shit. I just gotta say it like that because I mean, you know, it's no other way of putting it in words. Like we're not great. We're not these orators and great wordsmiths and all that. We just gotta lay it flat for you. The rest of us spirits that on the earth, we ain't shit. Okay, but Yahweh Shai took it upon himself that he was gonna come down here and lay his life down for us to have a fighting chance. Again, another selfless point. Yahweh Shai could have been like, I ain't doing all that shit. To hell with that. Nah, Lord, give me the option you gave Moses. Destroy all these niggas.
Yeah.
And bring them back through my loins. Yahweh Shai ain't take that point. Think about it.
He ain't pray for that.
He ain't pray for that. He didn't take that point in the spirit because, hey, the Lord offered Moses that. He said, man, to hell with these.
Yeah, he's gonna kill him.
I destroy them all and bring them through you. Which we already come through the loin of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
But Yahweh Shai still is like, nah, I'm gonna die for y'all. I'm gonna take this on the chin for y'all's sake.
And he said, thy will be done.
Yeah, and even when Yahweh Shai was getting crucified, what he said, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. So it was still mercy in the Lord's heart, even in the midst of him actually being tormented unto death, man. And you know, he was feeling grievous pain emotionally, mentally, as well as spiritually, man.
The flesh was talking shit to him.
The flesh was talking shit. He was looking out, and he had all the people that he was even people that he actually did good unto, people that actually seen some of his healings around. They was actually chanting to crucify him, and he still showed mercy, man.
Because some of the elect was Stephen and Paul.
Stephen, yeah.
Just about to mention Stephen.
Man, that's selflessness, man.
When Stephen was getting stoned, he said pretty much the same things Yahweh Shai said.
Because they
Some
was
of
in the
them in there
spirit.
didn't know what to do. Because what? Paul was in that crowd watching Stephen getting stoned
yeah.
too. Okay, but what happened to Paul? He got converted.
That's right.
All right. What you went into Galatians 4?
Yeah.
Tutors and master's time appointed.
Yeah, go to read Sirach 3:18 again for me, Baba Kasha. You had it, come on. 3:18.
Yeah, come. Sirach chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Most High.
Now, who's the second greatest under Yahweh Shai? King David. King David came out of his own mouth and said that he would be happy with just being a doorman in the kingdom of heaven. And he's our king. This is our king. Our king.
That's the epitome of humility, man.
Is saying he just be happy to be the doorman that we came into. But then you have Jake that get puffed up, they get lifted up. They think because they could tie scripture between Leviticus and Revelation together and go to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon and get a few precepts and a few people know their name that they're just perfected, that they on a level that they're high and mighty. The higher that you become in this thing, the more humility that has to come your way.
And that's how the Sadducees and the Pharisees slipped up. Because the Pharisees and Sadducees, they went by the law, but they didn't know the mercies that Yahweh put upon Yahweh Shai to bring forth the doctrine, saying that he's the fulfillment of the law according to Romans chapter 10 verse 4. Because the works that Yahweh Shai did on the Sabbath day, they permitted it not to be allowed, and that he went off according to the law, but we couldn't really do the law perfectly because we was on the captivity of the Roman Empire.
Right. And that's how you know that those wicked and Pharisees, they're here today, and they wear a bunch of purple and gold garments. All right, because they consider themselves officers of the. Y'all brothers want to slide? I'll slide this way. You know, they strain at a gnat, man. We're in captivity, man. You know, like I did a lesson the other day, and a woman left a comment. I did a lesson dealing with a woman's menstrual cycle. That's a heavy law.
Yeah.
That's a heavy law when you analyze it. That basically your wife on her menstrual has to be quarantined. You have to basically quarantine your woman and have servants that you allow to go into this quarantine area that's going to make themselves unclean to make sure she's okay. How many of you men are set up to live your life like that? None of us. But even so, even if you still could, that doesn't. We're still not exempt from the fact that, hey, when you go to the gym and you lay your head on that bench press, it could have been a woman that laid on that bench press right before you, that, or any time in that day that was on her period. Mm-hmm. So we're all subjugated to these laws that we can't keep in perfection. All right, so we just gotta humble down, man. If you want captivity, if you want to gain salvation out of this, be humble. Matter of fact, and now you get what do you hold?
I'm holding Matthew 23 and 23.
Well, bring that out. Will you get Matthew 5 and 5 and I'm gonna say 5 and 8. Go ahead, read it out.
All right, this is Matthew 23 and 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
That's the way. What is the weightier matters of the law right now? Because he's saying groups, they omit the fact. See, like I was saying to a brother, but I forgot what brother I was talking to, about the fact of IUIC, they push such a heavy vibration of marriages. But in their same congregation, do they push the vibration of the marriage between us and Yahweh Shah? That's overlooked. Yeah. They don't prepare. They don't even teach the name. They don't even teach the name. They rather you deal and be stuck on this worldly, stupid, carnal version of the wedding, when they're not dealing with the fact of bringing the lamb and the bridegroom. When you read Revelation the 14th chapter, Revelation the 7th chapter, they don't worry about those weighty things. That's the weightier things. Keep going.
It says, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith.
Oh, judgment, mercy. And they don't, hey, the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, they will curse us out. They will literally curse out the men of Great Millstone that's doing the right thing to have mercy towards Nate. Literally.
Hey, even a lot of times, even with Nate going off, what always the apostles say, Lord willing, he comes out of that match. You know? But you got this fucking nigga, he gets on,
goes out the country.
He's going out the country first and foremost, just parlaying. And then he's talking to this one lady, and he's bringing out all the elders and apostles proper names and things of that nature, just exposing them like they just niggas, man.
Like they some bunch of phonies.
But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we doing that which is right, man. You had that one thing with Nate, actually, it was a couple years back when he blasphemed the name. You know, he was trying to act like it was a stone. And he was like, look, it's the name Yahweh. And he was joking around with it. But that's the name that we lean on for salvation, man. Calling us bums. Hey, what if we are all bums? What if we don't have enough money to pay our rent? We just walking on hope. We prisoners of hope at the end of the day. Now, is that something that you mock somebody and look down upon? Because, hey, say for instance, this minute that their congregation that's just dead broke, slap broke. You don't get on a man over some shit like that.
Hell no.
Our whole nation is in poverty right now, man.
Yeah, if you want to be considered, we are a nation of derelicts.
Yeah, the whole nation of Israel is derelicts. So at the end of the day, that's not even the main point of it. Is not this truth isn't about having money, man. This truth is really about being poor and being wretched and naked to actually fight for salvation at the end of the day. That's why Yahweh Shah was getting on the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because in order for them to actually deal with you on a service matter, you had to have something that they want. All right, you had to actually have some type of perks that actually came with something for them to actually even recognize you as an individual.
Somebody gets Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. And what is that? Proverbs 17, I think. Proverbs 17 and 15 of Mark, not the point. Yeah, bring out Matthew 5 and I think 5 and 8. Yeah, finish that out. Salaki.
It says,
Spirit be given. Revved up.
It says, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith.
Yeah, they're terrible judges, man. You guys are terrible judges. The way that you judge things, all of you camps, your judgment is totally off. Why? Because we know that you're not moving in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, by the Holy Spirit. And that's where judgment and meekness and equity, that's where it's all found out, but that y'all don't have, man. Keep going.
Continuing on, it says,
fucking Halloween parade, man.
These
same ones that claim that they're God-fearing and they got their people dressed, their children dressed up as ghouls and goblins.
Straight up Satan. Horns on the head.
Hands on their head. all
Either
this.
blood and chains. You saw the one with the skeleton with the chains around, and I'm like, man, whatever, man. And then you people wonder when your houses got all kind of spooky things happening in it.
But they wonder why their kids get abducted around this time of year. They're gonna be back of a milk carton or the CVS up the street.
Yeah, the spirit might change. We might go into this Halloween
I
spirit.
know, the spirit of rebuke.
The spirit of rebuke and rain down the truth for Halloween, man, on you motherfuckers, man. All right, keep going.
Continuing on. These are ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
Yep, not to leave the other undone. Not being in that spirit of being high-minded and thinking that you on a level, man. That's why really you Levites lost your priesthood. Cause that's why you're getting fucked up right now in the world. You Levites, you had a lot to do with the here it is, you joined, your name means to be joined unto. Joined unto who? The Most High and His Son. Here it is, you're joined unto the Most High. And the Most High and His Son, Yahweh's Son is found what? In the scriptures. For lo, I come in the volume of the book. So here it is, the very book that you got your fucking position from, you now using to crucify the man that came on the scene. I got something too. That's why you got jacked up and you continue to get jacked up and then you lost your office, man.
Yeah, because even which I was going into earlier with the Pharisees really stemmed out of John Hyrcanus in the book of Maccabees. That was really the beginning of the Pharisaic, so if that's even a word, the line of the Pharisees. So they were the priests. They were truly the house of the Levites. They just changed their name from the Levites to the Pharisees. And like you said, which is joined unto the Most High. But who was they joined unto during the time of the Romans? During the time of the Romans, Esau, man.
Satan.
They went to Esau to actually crucify Yahushua. Because even though they were the priests, they didn't have the office of murder. That's why they didn't kill Yahushua. They wanted to kill Yahushua, but they couldn't just stab him.
Yep.
Because they had offices or they had a government that was on top of them. So Yahushua had to do what? Through his before his crucifixion, he had to go from this place. He had to travel to that place.
Yep.
He had to get judged in this place. They didn't want to, they couldn't fully deal with the matter. And then they had to take him to the highest form of the court. And then you had this individual Pontius Pilate, which he showed more mercy than these fucking Pharisees, man. He really didn't even want to crucify him.
The devil.
Because his wife had received a vision. And she was like, nah, this man is without spot and blemish. And then Pontius Pilate basically was like, well, I'm just going to give y'all the option. Choose him or choose Barnabas. Or Barabbas, the murderer.
Yeah.
And when they said, man, choose that murderer. So it's judgment on you niggas too, man.
That's right.
Which these Pharisees is back in reincarnation.
Yep.
Everything is reincarnation.
Everything.
The prophets, the individuals that killed the prophets, the individuals that said they won't eat, sleep, or drink till they kill Paul, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the wicked scribes, the righteous scribes, all these individuals is back in this big ass melting pot, man.
Well, they said put it on our children.
Yep, put it on our children, the descendants. Yep, that's right.
Yep. Keep going. Is that on that?
That's on that.
I go to Matthew 5.
This is Matthew 5 and verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart. Salat.
Or what is it? God blesses the poor.
Blessed is the poor.
Yeah, poor in spirit.
Oh, yeah, God.
That's it?
Yeah, my bad. Matthew 5 and verse 8. Blessed are the poor in heart, for they shall see the Most High.
Yep.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for
Read that part over. That poor heart.
God, verse 8. Blessed are the poor in heart, for they shall see the Most High. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High.
And all our apostles and elders have ever done with Nate and these other clowns is maintain peace, but not a carnal peace. Peace through the scriptures. All right? But you guys, you don't want to deal with that.
Hey, y'all, come on!
You want to deal with
Satanism out here, man. Hey, y'all heard it? I'm pretty sure y'all brothers heard about them fucking 2 girls that tried to hack up them 15 girls in the bathroom.
Florida.
Drink their
Oh,
blood.
yeah. Them 11-year-old girls.
Hey, it's going on worldwide out here, man. That was just something that was actually just brought out.
What's going on tonight?
Yeah, that's going on shit all over the world, man.
How they was settled in that spirit too,
All
watching
kind
the
of
movie
wicked
and stuff.
This place gotta go.
Hey man, my Satanist calendar, please pull that up, man. Let's just go ahead and switch the gears, man. Because you see that she threw me off with the spirit.
the vibration.
It was like that was the spirit, man. The spirit of the Lord was like, nah, man, y'all brothers, y'all doing some good edifying, but let's get into some
Gotta blast
some
it.
condemning, man. Because I was, she literally threw me off. Like,
I know it.
I'm like, that's Satan right there.
Yeah, it is
Satan. She had a horn in the middle of her head. It was just in the name in the
power
frame of an
of
ice
Satan.
cream
Yeah,
cone.
it's season of rebuke, man.
Yeah, let's get
Then,
to it.
then it's the weekend.
So what is the what is the holiday calendar?
All right, this is
on
from
Wednesday.
October 13th to the 30th. It says
God damn. So you said October 13th.
to the 30th.
That's like a 2-week period.
2 week high, wicked high day.
13, and it's probably, but really, it should say 31. Not as well say 31, 13 to 31.
Yeah.
Because those 13 and 31, that number is, when you just change it around, it's the same number.
Same number.
And that's a high level satanic number, 13. It's a very satanic number.
Like Friday the 13th. High demonic vibration.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be used to open like a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this time of the year, this is when you could tell. This is when Babylon's wickedness it really shows itself. These last few months, between the end of Labor Day, September, going into to October, November, December, January. That's when wickedness shows itself. It really puts itself to the forefront.
Yeah, it really shows the vibration of these people because people actually are in conjunction with seasons. And this is the season of what? Death. All right,
That's it.
The winter season is the season of death. That's why you have Christmas. Christmas, which is the end of the year in December. The word Christmas goes into Christ's Mass or Christ's Massacre. Was supposed to be the death of Christ, but really, in a deeper sense, it really goes into the transition of the seasons, because what days are short.
Yep. November 10th, I believe. Time changes.
Yep, the equal. What is that? The winter solstice.
Yep.
And it's just all kind of satanic ritualism, man.
Like this is what we experiencing. This folly, man. And then they got the nerve to play the Saints come. Why don't y'all play when the demons come marching in?
There's confusion on the.
This is confusion, man.
I got something I can go ahead. All right.
Jeez.
It says preparation for Halloween's Eve.
Hey, but you know what? All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because this is going to show you that we're in the right spirit. Because when you read about the apostles of old, when they riotous and all types of manner of evil would come out when they was teaching, we've been coming to this very zone for damn near 6 months to a year now. And it ain't never been this live, man. When we first came on the street, it was dead. Stupid, dry.
This is basically a vacant city when we came. But we were basically voice of one crying in the wilderness out here, man. Now look, that's
pan the camera.
Yeah, I was about to say, pan the camera, man.
Look at this folly, man.
Of course, they got Jake in the forefront.
Yeah, I was about to bring out a
Hey,
just
Most
soaking
got
it.
a lot of killing to do, man.
Somebody hold Jeremiah 7 and 31 on deck too, man.
But you know what? He doing a lot of killing on the left-hand side. Yep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of people down from the Halloween party.
Somebody hold Jeremiah 7 and 31 and Isaiah 45. We can read from the top on that too. Oh, you said you had something? Yeah, this hey, you can soak it all. Here it is. October is had one of the worst months. The Dow Jones. What are these people celebrating like America is great? Really, you should be. Really, America is already in a ghost, dead spirit anyway, man. Somebody get Psalms 23. The valley of the shadow of death, man. This is death. This is
This is off right here, man.
And these assholes, see, they don't even have enough money to truly even take care of themselves. But what do? They spend their money on these dumbass outfits to wear for one fucking day. All right, or a weekend, 3-4 days, then they hang it up in the closet, and they be broke throughout the rest of the goddamn year. And majority of people back on bills. They can't pay their car payments, but what do? They break their neck. They scratch tooth and nail just to actually appease the flesh and appease their children. And that's why, even in this time too, this is the highest rate of suicide, man.
Yeah, they giving their children all this damn candy, then they got them put up for the dentist bill.
Yeah.
All the children going through all pains.
So the so-called white man got these niggas in the trick bag, man. You got that? Oh, I got 27. Yeah, bring that out. All right, this is Psalms chapter 23. It says, yea, in Psalms 23 and 4, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, this is the shadow of death. And this is a holiday in celebratory matter of death. This is a death holiday. That's what it's all about. But we're gonna go back into holiday chart because what does it go into? The fact that, like, man, I was going to pick up somebody the other day, over there off about Glenwood, where all them rich ass houses are by the golf course.
Yeah.
Man, I almost crashed the whip, man. One of them houses over there, you know, them rich ass houses. They had the patio on the upper level,
That second deck.
the second deck on the front. So they had like mannequins dressed up like demons and dead masks and stuff, just hanging off the balcony, like posing, like mannequins. Imagine you got deaf mannequins, like 6 mannequins on the front side of your house. I'm driving, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was like, man, that shit spooked me. Because I'm like, shit like that come alive, man. Like,
Hell yeah. Fucking corpses and shit. Yeah. The scriptures say spirits are created for vengeance. Don't be surprised when these same spirits that you put in your house or in your front yard start to attack your ass.
Start to manifest, man. Because these carry frequencies, man.
Yeah.
And that's why majority of people are bugged out. They be in and out of the hospitals and psychiatric wards because what they summon in these evil spirits. And what do they say? The story of Halloween really goes into when the veil between the spirit world and the physical world is thinnest. Is that it's thinnest and demons are able to pass through.
that's why you wear your mask.
Yeah.
You would wear your mask on Hallows Eve or the Black Sabbath. Which is Sabbath. Why? Because when that veil was at its thinnest and spirits is coming in, you would go into the woods and you want to wear a mask to blend in. Yeah. Or like, I'm one of y'all. Yeah. That's the reason why you wear the mask and the death and the covering yourself, because these spirits come in and like, oh, I'm with y'all. And then look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. Vote Democrat. What the fuck does that got to do with all of this?
Confusion. The Democratic Party is the worst party, man.
Hey, really, the Democratic Party is a COVID of witches anyway. Look at the number one witch of the COVID, Hillary Clinton.
Now you see but really the individuals that actually put that vote, they use this holiday, they camping on this day too because it's top witches that know about this day. So they actually using this to actually have individuals who vote that. So I got a quick precept. Exodus 22 and 18. It's fucking foolish.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Read it again.
Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
And all I'm seeing in front of me is witches.
Witches and warlocks.
Witches and warlocks. Look at Jake trying to cap off with the witchcraft. What's that account with when they got mad at Paul because he couldn't sell his little statues?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was the name? Such and such a prophet. He was mad, and that's us. He probably would kill us, but we trying to come in. Let this shit pass around the table. You ain't gotta put no camera. Oh, like, we ain't got shit on. They still know the goddamn smoke. Ain't we doing Halloween parade? Hey, we got our garments on, man. We got it. Look. Ghost. Look, they got the hearses. Look at the hearses.
That's all, man.
And it said Abigail. What's Abigail mean in Hebrew? Father of something, right? Look, they got hearses in
Yeah, and each and every
just
one,
celebrate
that
them.
show, these holidays show that each and every one of you individuals worship Satan.
Yep.
You can't worship the Most High on some days and then just eat from drink from the cup of devils, man. The scripture says that if you can get that, you can't drink from the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils, man. Either you're gonna love one and hate the other. And these individuals love death, man. How do you know that these individuals worship Satan? Because they hate the truth and they love death. How many individuals flocking around this truth? We teaching the Bible. Nobody. We teaching the good, sweet word of the Most High, the gospel. Freely. We ain't charging. But when it comes to wickedness, when it comes to death, look at this. You got fucking hearses. Not one person stopped. That's why the Lord is gonna blow this fucking place to smithereens, man. You got it?
All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cups of devils.
He said, well, hey, we agree.
Look at the window.
Yeah. Hey, John 8:44. Get that too,
All right, this is 1 Corinthians 10 and 21. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord.
See, what these people like to do in this world is they like to sip. They want to take a little sip from the Bible, just take the John 3:16. But they want to get the big gulp when it comes to wickedness, man. Because it's sweet. Because it's sweet. It's sweet. It's fucking. You know them fucking quick trip, the big gulp dog go. They want to down them. They love that. They love wickedness, but when it comes to the righteousness, when it comes to the truth of the Bible, they don't want to hear that. Look at these fucking individuals. And it's like, you can't get mad at it because they that's a white thing to them. This nigga like a mix of Mardi Gras. Fucking, you don't see like 4 or 5 different events. Show our faces to us, man. You really can't even talk over this thing. Hey, can I get a scripture, please?
You get anybody to hold Jeremiah 7 and 33? Yeah. Because it's like, get your laugh on, because when martial law comes and that next terroristic attack comes, all this skipping and scapping, hippity and happening, that's all we're coming with. Jeremiah 7 7:33, the last verse.
That's how Satan come too. He come on subtle, like Halloween's innocent.
It's for the kids.
It is for the goats.
Well, why don't they tell their kids what a jack-o'-lantern really came from? Why they would light a pumpkin up? Why they would put a carved pumpkin on your front door? Where did that? Do these people actually know where the origins of trick-or-treating really came from?
Halloween.
It's not really for the kids, man. It's for them because these people are trying to live these fantasies that they couldn't live as a child. So then they gotta. These people are basically grown up children in adult bodies, man.
Yeah, because the child just mimic what the adult.
The scriptures say, "When I became a man, I put away childish things." You got grown ass people out here that's gonna celebrate Halloween as if they fucking 10 years old.
Grown ass idiots, man. Because these people don't grow up in America. Look at this shit, man.
That's why America's a big shit country, man. Bring that up.
This is Jeremiah 7 and verse 33. And the carcasses of this people.
Let's go to 30. We'll go to 34. Let's go straight to the point.
34. Then will I cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem.
Yep, keep going.
The voice of mirth.
The voice of what?
Mirth.
Mirth is a happy moment, right? Singing and dancing. That's what we just experienced. Parade. Mirth, right? That was a bunch of mirth.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the voice of gladness.
A lot of gladness. You see kids skipping, skipping down the street. They happy, giggling and laughing. All right, but the Lord said He's going to cease it. You know when you're doing something like if you got a t-shirt company and you make t-shirts for a living and you take a copyright item like this brother, he might, let's just say I take your album cover and I put it on my shirt and I sell it. What you gonna do? You're gonna send me a cease and desist letter. A cease and desist letter. Cut that shit or I'ma sue your ass. All right? So what is the Heavenly Father gonna do? He's gonna cease out this world, instantly stop all this mirth and happy shit, man, at a screeching halt. That's all you see, man. But it's all good because the scripture, matter of fact, somebody get in Corinthians, man, communion with light and darkness. Because these people are of darkness. We don't care. I'm not mad. Like we just speaking according to what's righteous. But really, I don't care. Go eat all the candy you want. Go drink your blood punch. You know, go take your kids around.
Sacrifice your kids.
Sacrifice your kid on Halloween if you want to. For all I care.
Throw them in the oven. Because that's what they was doing. Going back to the origins of Halloween. And the original Halloween, that was the extreme form of Halloween. It's still extreme to this day. But
y'all are fakes, man. Y'all are phony Halloweeners.
Yeah, these fake Halloween. Fucking they plagiarizing Halloween.
Hey, what's that movie, Carrie?
Yep.
But it goes back to the Druids.
The Druids, right?
The Druids back in the Celtic region, so to speak. What they would do, they would sacrifice their children. That's where, like you said, you get the origins of trick or treat. Because it was, the joke would be on you. And the joke's on all these people, man. The joke's on these kids.
And it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that this parade happened not too far from North Druid Hills. Because the original Druids were the creators of this act. The Druids were known for being where? In Ireland. Where do most of these pumpkins that come here come from? Ireland. All those pumpkins that you people carve, they come from another place, man. So it's the same thing reincarnated, man. So like I said, if you really want to be in the spirit of Halloween, hey, sacrifice your virgin daughter.
Or your son.
Or your son.
Or yourself.
Sacrifice. Do a bloody sacrifice in the name of Halloween. But you're not. You're fake, man. And Esau knows that. That's why he waters down all these Halloween, all these holidays, man. And none of them are in the same origins of what they were, man. All right, we that in Jeremiah again?
God, this is Jeremiah 7 and verse 34. Then will I cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's where you tribes live at, man. I'm talking to you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and you confusion of faces. All right, I'm getting tired of saying you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You Israelites, all right? Yeah. Whether you look how you look, man. Because a lot of these people are Israelites too. Just a bunch of wickedness. Go ahead.
Con, the voice of mirth and the voice of
the voice of mirth. This is nothing but mirth, man. That's all America is based upon is mirth. Here it is, partying and bullshit, man. Here it is, America is going down the hole quick. Here it is, it was a terroristic attack in Pittsburgh not even a couple hours ago. Where's the pray for them Jew rats synagogue? Then they on the news capping. They probably killed their own people. Because you Jewish people are the biggest witches on the planet Earth anyway. It happened on the Shabbat. And fuck you, Esau.
That's right.
It happened on the Sabbath. The Sabbath was coming to an end, and he came in the synagogue. Fuck you, Esau.
Esau just doing that shit to keep the money coming.
Then I was watching CNN before I left. This fucking rat was on the TV talking about he was part of the HIAC or something like that.
Probably some goddamn acronyms or something.
The Hebrew Immigration Society. And I was like, well, shit, man. They don't get much more of a Hebrew immigrant than me, nigga.
I know.
Send me some money. You know what I'm saying? But you rats, man, you make a living off of this shit, man. Then you watch them on the news and they all in that spirit of, man, this is just a terrible, you had bitten with that one rat over there in Israel. Morning was his yacht. That rat, man. You know, talking about what's going on and we come together. Oh, so when somebody comes to you with that action, the country got to shut down and mourn. But then y'all just shoot missiles at Gaza the other day? Yeah. Y'all is Satan, man.
And that's why this is known as a hypocritical nation.
Yes.
Because this same nation claims they're God-fearing, but is there a national Passover that each and every person celebrates?
What about the Day of Atonement?
Day of Atonement? Yeah. Man, these people wouldn't dare celebrate the Day of Atonement. Not eating for 24 hours, not eating and drinking for 24 hours, these fat fucks in this country, man. These fat lazy assholes. They all about partying and feasting, man. Here it is, they finna fill their stomach up with Kit Kats, Snickers, and fucking Jolly Ranchers for the next 4 or 5 days. Skittles. And you know who lives fat off of these people? The government. That's why the rich get richer, and you poor assholes are getting poorer by the day, man. You know? I think last year they said that the government generated $1 billion off of fucking Halloween. Off of candy. Off of Snickers that you can buy every day. It ain't like candy inaccessible, and this day now candy is being released.
One day out of the year, candy's released.
One day out of the year. Fucking every day of the year, candy you could buy candy. But what makes this day so fucking special, man?
Esau got stores that don't sell nothing but candy. Wow. Now bring out what you got.
Samples.
All right, this is
Now finish that up. Salak, yeah, finish this Jeremiah off.
Jeremiah 7 and verse 34. Then will I cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom.
Yep, because you got a lot of that. We were talking about Nate earlier, getting married. Hell, you're gonna have a lot of people. Hey, what's gonna happen tonight? You're gonna have a lot of somebody wanna look that up too. You know, I got my researcher on the far end with the calendar. You could go into sexual magic. Because between now and going back into that holiday, because part of this holiday I'm pretty sure has a lot to do with blood and sex. Yeah. A lot of sexual magic is gonna occur. A lot of foul sex acts that you so-called white people love doing. It's just the nature of you people, man.
Yeah, and it happened in Rome. It happened in Greece.
Yeah.
It's happening in America. So this is nothing more than Egypt, Greece, Rome, all the wickedest kingdoms, all in fucking one, man.
It's all in one. It's a wicked Voltron's country. It's like all those kingdoms came together and became an ultimate Power Ranger mobile, man. A power mobile of wickedness.
Fucking this is a mutated country, man.
It's a product of GMOs, man. Go ahead.
All right, I got sex magic from Wikipedia. All right, it says sex magic is any type of sexual activity used in magical, ritualistic, or otherwise religious and spiritual pursuits.
Yeah, witch covens, Satanists, voodoo. This is their high holy day.
Hey, that's why the black women don't take you guys serious, man.
Yeah.
Jake be getting his ass whooped fucking 24 hours out of the day, and out fucking 7 days a week, and fucking dressing up like that, just looking fucking stupid, man.
Big 38-year-old Power Ranger. And then wonder why his woman don't look at him as a fucking man.
Yeah, but then Jake try to get tough one day out the week. She like, nigga, didn't you just dress up as the fucking the fucking muscle man or whatever the hell that man is? I know you did. You can't take a man like that serious. Yeah. That's why testosterone is on a strong decline, man.
Look, he's all wrapped up and she's showing herself.
Yeah,
if anything, it should have been the other way around. Like, listen, y'all, you do that with my daughter, that's fine. Y'all have y'all dress up, man. But I ain't about to do that shit. What the fuck I look like being a snowman?
He don't know if he a child or not, man.
What a so-called black man? He's a 38-year-old adolescent.
Yeah. Shame on
a nation of children, man.
Yeah. Grown boy.
Grown boy, man. Baby boy.
Baby boy.
Yeah, baby boy.
Look at that, man. He trying to walk like he got a little bit of toughness in him, man. Nigga, you are a snowman. You're not even Jesus snowman. At least you could be the trap snowman. God damn, at least be the trap snowman. Hey, the trap snowman caused a lot of ruckus in America, man. Remember he was on CNN, they were mad.
Angry snowman.
They were like, that's a different snowman. That snowman is mad.
Snowman got a grill in his mouth.
Snowman got a grill. That's when he's talking about drugs. He's just a frozen. He's frozen.
Fucking carrot on the nose. She said we Atlanta.
Nah, you lying.
All right, it says
She's in her righteous mind, man.
One practice of sex magic is using the energy of sexual arousal or orgasm with visualization of the desired result.
All right, now go back to the holiday and bring out the days and tell, because it'll tell you what are the ways that it's celebrated. So I promise you, I'm pretty sure it's going to deal with some blood, it's going to deal with sacrifice, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit of mixture of sex. And you know what? Those aren't always separated.
All right.
All of them mixed in one.
Mixed together in one.
October 30th to the 31st is All Hallows Eve and Halloween night. And the rituals are blood and sexual rituals, which result in...
Oh, they said blood and sexual rituals?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Which result in sexual climax, association with the demons, animal and or human sacrifice.
See?
of
So
bestiality.
it's gonna be a lot of bestiality. It's gonna be sacrificing the dog to themselves in that blood. After you or during the act. So there's a lot of sick shit that's gonna be happening tonight. See, this is the, you know how when you have the pre-circuit, like right now these adults, they getting it out of the way with the kids right now. Let's just go get him some candy. Let's put his little ninja outfit on, you know. But when that sun go down tonight, that was it. The freaks come out at night. The freaks gonna come out at night, man. Why? Because Halloween is the 31st, and that's what? Today, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So people typically will do it the weekend before and the weekend after. So that's why it's happening right now. So I behoove you, brothers. I admonish men to keep your ass in the house tonight.
Yeah, because the Lord gonna have
Next couple days.
that Slayer spirit out there too. The spirit of death is out there.
Mm-hmm. So I admonish men to keep because a lot of these people gonna be taking over in deep demonic trances. They're gonna be doing a lot of things they don't even know why they doing it, man.
Hell yeah, because a lot of times and that's already been reported, a lot of this candy has poison in it, man. Yeah. Some people actually be giving this candy out and they'll put razors in the candy and things of that nature.
They know how to seal it back up.
They know how to reseal it back up. Some of these crazy lunafucks, these white people, they'll inseminate, put sperm in some of this candy, and they'll wrap it up and feed it to these children, man.
Why? Because they're doing rituals. Satanic rituals. This isn't fun and games. What? You gotta ask yourself, what the hell do I look like partaking in something in the name of death? Think about that. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 1:18 real quick. They again go back to the
Let me go back to
sexual magic part.
All right. And the calendar.
No, you were done with the calendar. We can keep that, but I want to go back to the sexual magic part.
All right, sexual magic. It says a premise. But
oh shit! I thought she was about to go on the street. See, that would have been a beautiful sight. Some Final Fantasy type shit. Go ahead.
It says a premise posaded by sexual magicians in the concept that sexual energy is a potent force that can be harnessed to transcend one's normally perceived reality.
Yeah, and don't think that these people don't know about it, okay? Yeah. See, you think that everybody in this Babylonian place, aka America, is just a bunch of God-fearing Christians. Well, really, Christianity is the biggest coven of witches and warlocks anyway, really, if you want to be technical. All right? But these people know, man, especially Esau, man. Yeah. Esau is all about witchcraft. He's not connected to the Heavenly Father in a righteous sense. He's all on the left-hand side.
And you know what shows you that too, that movie The Purge, when you were speaking about how these low-class individuals, they just knocking on doors and grabbing candy, but these elites, they take it to the highest level. You'll watch the movie The Purge, and you'll see, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was the first or the second. It's so many of them. It was the first or the second where individuals were just out there shooting, and you had the father. He actually sacrificed himself.
He did
to make that money to them devils.
I think that was like the second one.
I think it was the second one. It was the second, because the first one was the one dude. But the father, what he had did was, which of course, I'm pretty sure majority of brothers seen it. He had actually sacrificed himself. He had got a big bag from him to actually go to their house. And what they was doing, they was around them saying some type of demonic chant, all holding hands in the name of the sacrifice, which is that nigga.
Yep.
And they all pulled out machetes, man.
Chopped them up.
They was finna chop them up in the brutalest fashion possible, man.
Yep.
They ain't finna just shoot. Because these devils, they like taking things a step further, man. And it's a lot of you niggas, even on Halloween, that's getting the same thing done to you. That's why here in Atlanta, this is the highest area of sex trafficking. Sex trafficking and kidnappings. People are getting kidnapped right now.
Yep. Prepared for tonight.
You'll watch these different videos, and they'll show them on the internet. They'll actually ride around in these big ass vans, and they'll grab these little kids, or they'll have a little child that's walking, might be walking down the alley or something like that, might be 7 years old, or the child might create a little bit of distance between the daughter or the son and the mom, and you will have some individual grab them, and they'll put that napkin in front of the face,
knock them out.
To knock them out. Scoop, because it's easy to scoop a child up.
Yeah.
Scoop them up and take off with them. And these these people, they're so-called supposed to be care providers. These people don't have these children in their care, man.
Yeah, you can't say you have your children in your care doing something like this as such. If you really care about your children, you would tell them that this is a wicked day. Like my daughter's 5 years old. It's not about me, but scriptures tell you to train up your child in their youth and they shall not depart. So my daughter was dealing with another little demon child, and he was trying to ask why we don't do Halloween this and the third. And you know what my daughter's response was? Because Yahweh Shai doesn't like it.
Out of the mouth of a babe.
Out of the mouth of a babe.
Good.
She ain't mad at the fact that she can't do this because it's easy to cut this book. But you people, you look for a license to sin, man.
Yeah.
You know? You got something?
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 10:6. Folly is set in great dignity. You say you still want it, Wisdom Solomon 1?
Yeah, you got. I'll get it.
Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
Right, and this is the stupidest kingdom that's ever emerged on the planet Earth. And when wicked kingdoms exalt, debauchery exalts with it, man.
Yeah.
When you look at Rome was known through what? Orgies, pedophilia, wicked sacrifices. That's why you had Saturnalia. That was one of the main festivities in Rome, and it was all about killing, destroying, drinking blood, orgy fest. Same thing with these high holy days. This is one of the top high holy days America really has to offer, man. Halloween.
And then if you watch that show, which is a wicked ass show, you gotta, it's one of the shows. Yeah, you gotta put a disclaimer out there. You really gotta. Hey, I recommend it, but be prepared to see some very high demonic shit, man. When you watch that American Horror Story, the Apocalypse series, the one that's on TV right now, there's one episode on there where you had this guy, and they were talking about Halloween. And they went into it, Hallows Eve, and this is when the veil is the thinnest. And then they showed this guy, which was basically a demon, right? And he was sitting in the 6-point star when the 6-point star was in blood, and he was sitting in the middle of it. And he was covered in blood, and he was in a trance, man, because he was looking for an answer. So you got a lot of people right now, they understand that this is a very wicked time. And they're going to be doing a lot of sacrifices. They're going to be sacrificing people. To why? To bring about certain blessings to themselves.
Like even with us, on the right-hand side, the Day of Atonement is one of the best days to draw near unto the Most High because you can sacrifice yourself in the spirit to the Lord. You're making a sacrifice through what? Through fasting. All right, you presenting yourself before the altar of the Most High because the Lord actually has particular days where He'll actually, draw nearer to the men, so to speak.
Yeah, like the veil between us and the Most High is thin.
Yeah, the veil between us and the Most High.
Like the Passover.
As it is written in James, draw near to the Most High, and He'll draw near to you. So it's the same rituals apply with Satan. You draw near unto Satan, Satan gonna draw near unto you. And Satan has his high holy days. And this is one of the top high holy days. That's why it's known as what? The Witches' Sabbath. This is the day where the top witches and warlocks actually come out. And you have this one document, which I could bring it out, I probably won't, but the individual, he was a top Satanist. He said he's surprised that all these different Christians actually celebrate Halloween, man.
Get it, man. Let's get into it, man. We can get into that. We can get into Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley.
We got it because this is the energy, man. We had goddamn black demon manifest right there and threw off the spirit. I was kind of shook. I was like, because you saw I got quiet. Yeah, I didn't know I was like, man, that's a demon, man. You know, but I got a quick one real quick too. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1, and I'm in verse 13. And it reads, for the Most High made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. So here it is, our Heavenly Father, which the power of the nation of Israel, he doesn't have pleasure in death. He's a living power. We celebrate life. We don't celebrate death.
The skeleton.
We don't have a death day. Which you so-called, you Issachar, you so-called Mexicans, you going to fuck off too. Day of the Dead. You know?
That's when the Lord jacking them up. That's why the Lord had Issachar and Zebulon getting separated in these concentration camps, man, because they want to continue with Dia de Muerte, Day of the Dead. Our people are totally off.
Totally off. And a lot of this ain't got nothing to do with Esau. We just cursing Esau out because he's the head witch in charge. All right? But you Israelites, you're a bunch of fucking witches too, man.
Yeah, going back to following the style of Egypt. Because really,
That Egypt spirit goes back to death. Reading the Book of the Dead and all that. Trying to, cause you have niggas that spend big money. These niggas, these niggas in these fucking $300,000-$400,000 houses, these top Egyptologists, these Pan Africans. What they all about? Going into Egypt and going to the Valley of the Kings, and going to see fucking skeletons, man.
Yeah, basically. Look at that.
That's wickedness,
we
man.
resisted the devil fled that fucking way, man. Hold on, I'll finish this up real quick. I think that was the point. I'll read it one more time though. Verse Wisdom of Solomon 1:13. For the Most High made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. All right.
And so the Lord doesn't have pleasure in death. All right, death and all kind of wickedness. Because what's the symbols of death? It's skeletons, ghosts, goblins, caskets.
Yeah.
All those are symbols of death, and that's what these individuals actually the top costumes that people purchase. The top purchased costumes are those skeleton costumes. A lot of times the Satan mask.
Well, if I can add to you, what is it?
The witch
What
hat?
are these women? These women, every costume that a woman can buy, you could get it in a slutty version or a slutty dead version. You could be a slutty nurse, a slutty pastry. You could be a slutty barista, a slutty librarian, a slutty fireman, right? Which that's death in itself too. Be a slutty lifestyle, because the scriptures say that a woman that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So that's perpetuating that death lifestyle that women live, being sluts and whores. Because that's what's gonna happen tonight again, or through this weekend, through Halloween. These women are gonna be in full-fledged slut mode. They're gonna be in full-fledged cum bucket mode, like the brother said.
They're gonna be on the all-time
Orgies. A lot of nasty, sick shit is going down.
people drinking pee and eating, defecating on each other. That's high in the celebrity world. These top celebrities, everybody looks up to. These Beyoncés, these Jay-Z's, these fucking Kanye's, all these different actors and actresses. They getting defecated on, man. They said this individual, what's this motherfucker, this singer, I forget his name. I cannot think of his name right now. Trey Songz. If I'm not mistaken, it's Trey Songz. They say that he was over there in those Arab lands, and they was doing all kind of freaky foul shit to him, man.
Damn.
And that happens with a lot of these guys, man. These guys you look up to, you think that's the man. This man getting shitted on. It's real. Of course, you got to be kind of plain, but it's disgusting.
Trains ran on him. You're a man's man to you, and he behind the scenes getting a train ran on him
by some goddamn Arabs.
By some goddamn Arabs.
If I could say, you know how we went to the Godstones a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
I would be surprised if these witches are over
hell
there in Overton County, Georgia, performing seances and all types of rituals to spread it out. So it hits everywhere. It hits the main cities, man.
You know it is. Well, what's the new modernized way of doing that? The TV, the internet? Yeah. Shit, look at Netflix, man. Netflix done became so goddamn spooky.
Sabrina just came out, the show.
Yeah, it's all just it's just evil things, man. This is promoting that, putting you in that vibration of blood and gore. And then all those ancient, I'm talking about ancient, might as well be ancient. But you know them old Halloween movies going back to the 70s and the 80s, when they were real gory, like Halloween and Michael Myers and those type of movies. What was always what was always included in them type of movies? A very high level of sexual perverseness in it. You always had a woman that's at the beach or at the cabin in Michael Myers, right? And it's like Jason, right? And then you got the mass murderer. He's a slayer. He's covered in blood. But you always got the prissy ass little blonde-haired, blue-eyed Edomite chick. Let's go skinny deep dipping. Then what they do? Next thing you know, you in a movie. You seeing blood, your rod is hard.
Yeah. All kind of demons on you, man.
You just open everything.
Cabin Fever, the original one.
Man.
That was all kind of sex scenes in that movie, man.
Cabin Fever, the second one too, man.
I know what you did last summer.
All these movies, the common
It's basically a
theme.
porno.
Yeah.
Them fucking Halloween movies are basically pornos and blood. That's all you seeing.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Scream.
Yes.
They always have the strong sexual aspect of it. They always got the blonde, the sexy brunette. Carmen Electra's in one, yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's the same because they go hand in hand. All right. Anybody have something else? We can get back. I want to get into all that. Alistair Crowley, all that shit.
I got one quick thing I wanted to bring out though. It says ex-devil worshiper says, "I'm shocked Christians celebrate Halloween."
And he was a satanic priest.
Yeah. Anton Lavey,
Yep.
the founder of the Church of Satan. He ain't just any Satanist. He's the founder. Said, "I am glad
He's a
that
chief priest.
Yeah, chief priest. High priest.
To the veil.
Real shit.
Anton Lavey, the founder of the Church of Satan.
And he had a black house or something. I think they showed his house. And his house was in like a wreck. Imagine you in a neighborhood of your house, and your neighbor got his house is just straight blacked out. He was a witch. And he promoted it. He went on the news. He pushed that doctrine. He was connected with all these people, these Charles Mansons. All those people looked up to him. Okay? That was the person that remember when the Apostle Rumlab did that lesson on the left-hand side? And that guy was speaking about following people. He was speaking on Aleister Crowley and this guy.
All right, it says Anton Lavey, the founder of the Church of Satan, said, "I am glad that Christian parents let their children worship the devil at least one night out of the year. Welcome to Halloween."
Yeah, welcome to Halloween. And he's the founder of it. You would think them type of words would ring loud and you supposed to be a God-fearing Christian. You would think like, man, what the hell? If the founder of Satanism is saying this, I don't want no parts of it. But lo and behold, what's going to be happening tonight? You're going to have you hypocritical ass Christians. We don't celebrate Halloween. We going to go to the church.
Oh, yeah. But you know what's funny too? These top Satanists, they never lean over to the right hand side. What Satanists, you know, when the Passover comes, they just celebrate the Passover one day out of the year. They celebrate all their satanic days, but they celebrate they give us the Sabbath for the Most High. They don't work like that, man. They're fully dedicated to their witchcraft. They're fully dedicated to the seances, the chants, the sorcery, all that wickedness. They're fully aligned with it.
Yep.
But when it comes to you assholes, y'all try to play both sides of the field. But you know what? That's cool.
That's actually perfect Satanism.
That is perfect Satanism. When you Baphomet, the word Baphomet means both ways. Because you taking a little bit of the good with the evil and you mixing it. That, just like you said, that's the top level of witchcraft, man.
That's why you wear a mask. I don't want you to really see that it's me under here.
It's a disguise.
So that when Monday morning comes around, you just look at me as this wholesome ass white girl. But you don't know that Saturday night I just drunk a gallon of blood and had sex with a donkey.
It's a masquerade that's called a holiday.
Masquerade, that's it.
I mean, that sounds extreme, but it's really not. That's what's going to happen tonight.
These same people are gonna go to church tomorrow, and they're gonna have pumpkins at the church. They might have the same costumes tomorrow at church, man. All in the love of a sweet white Jesus, man.
Oh, well, a lot of these people gonna have. This is such a heavy subject matter. You gotta say a lot of these people have semen, blood, and shit on their breath,
yeah.
and go to church on Sunday morning talking about praise God, man.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. But hey, that's the right spirit to praise Jesus in, because Jesus was a big witch.
Yeah, Jesus is a big demon itself. And you know, even when you look at church, the structure of church is really a what the scriptures call I can't think of the word. Where they actually have the branches,
The grove.
the grove. The churches are actually groves. Just like how you see these branch structures, how they're on top of us.
Yep.
Or you look at ancient groves where everybody would meet and they would sacrifice and they would actually have an altar where they would actually do witchcraft, commit witchcraft, and they'll actually sacrifice. It's the same thing in the churches.
Yep.
That's why when you look at the pillar structures, they always branch out and it look like tree. It's a tree-like structure above you because it ain't nothing but a modern-day grove. And you'll see these individuals freaking out, frolicking all over the place, falling on the floor. That ain't nothing but a voodoo ritual, man.
That's it. Like, remember that movie back in the day? I think it came out before 2000. It came out in 1999, I think. Was it Arnold Schwarzenegger? End of days. Remember he was fighting Satan, and Satan came up in the church. Literally came from underneath the ground in the church. All right, so these churches are nothing but cesspools of demonic activities. That's
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is another one. Resident Evil, they show you that there's a lot of demonic activities that happen within these churches.
Man. Rip it off. I got a precept. Going into the mask. Isaiah 25:7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And that represents actually taking the mask, which is the covering, and revealing the truth. Because all these different people, they actually have an identity. Some people have more identities than others. And it really represents the truth of actually the Lord bringing out that who we truly are and who these people truly are too. Because you people are nothing but deceivers, man. You people are the devil, man. As it is written in John 8:44. But you masquerade yourself like you're a saint, like you're a priest.
Virgins.
Like you're a virgin, a wholesome woman. These same women, they'll be on Instagram, they'll take these different pics with the illuminating light, looking like they never touched a man. Tonight it's going down, man.
Yes.
These women racking up numbers. Some of them trying to get double, triple digits, man.
And that's why these women make it in the society, because they don't, but which I want to go back into too, they don't even realize that they're partaking. A lot of you people are indirectly taking partaking in these sexual magic rituals, and you're getting the benefits of it.
They are.
That's why in this society, what happens? Who are some of the most successful people in this world? Homosexuals. Do I believe all homosexuals know that when they lay down, when a man pops another man, that they're engaging in sexual magic? Not all of them, but hey, I'm pretty sure you got some that do. The elitists of this place, they know exactly what the hell is going on. All right.
What they had that fucking African guy, you know, you'll bring it out. I can't think of his name. Where it was brought out that he was touching on little boys, African
Bambaataa.
African Bambaataa. And why was he doing that? Because he was tapping into the origins of Egyptology, man.
Yep.
That true Africanism, going into the Eye of Horus. Because really, that Eye of Horus, they say that really goes into a little boy's anus.
Little boy's anus.
And they say, going back to Aleister Crowley, that's the highest form of magic when you popping little boys up the butt, man.
Go, Anna, please pull up the 11th degree of OTO. Do a Google search of the 11th degree OTO.
We gotta take a shot after this bullshit.
Oh man, yeah,
You gotta go, the deeper you go, the more it turns stomach, man.
Hey, if viewer discretion advised, man. All right, if you too weak in the stomach, man. Again, that's why. Hey, but you know what? The brother beautifully set up the road up for this, man. Going to the fact the priests, prophets. Hey, man, if this is too bloody of a job for you, hey, what did Ice Cube said? If you scared, go to church, man.
Go to church.
All right.
Get too hot, get the fuck
That's
out.
it, man. But hey, we in it, man. So we fight. This is what we fighting. You can't choose. No, I only fight level 1 demons. I'm only a level 1 demon fighter. Come on, man. You level up to fight heavier demons. This is the fight. Somebody get that in 2 Corinthians. What is that? 2?
That's how you endure it to the end.
Yeah. But this is a spiritual war. You got that degree?
Yeah.
Bring that out.
All right. Let me start.
This is what's gonna be happening tonight.
All right. It says rocket to Uranus, anal intercourse in the OTO.
Say it again. Read it up. Say it a
It
little louder.
says rocket to Uranus, anal intercourse in the OTO.
OTO is like a Latin word. What is it? Does it say what the word is? OTO?
It's gonna say it.
Okay.
It says the structure.
Now there's 11 degrees, right? Different levels of sexual magic that opens up different portals. See, with sexual magic, see even with us on the right hand side, when you lay down with your woman, that's something that's for lack of a better term, that's something magical happening.
They say let's make magic.
Let's make magic. Because when you lay with your woman, what happens? The purpose of it, you're supposed to lay down, toil that soil, lay that seed. It's a ritual. So you lay that seed, and then you bring forth the child. Now, if you do that in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, you might bring forth a child in righteousness.
It was the reason why, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob went in, or was it Isaac went in Sarah's tent with his wife? Because that was the ritual. It was basically going into the lineage. You know, after in the aftermath, you know, that was basically a ceremony. That was another word when you actually have sex with a woman. What would you do? You actually get the blood and you would actually show it to the parents, the token of the virginity. It would be a whole ceremony that would actually be involved before the fullness of the intercourse of you actually going inside of that woman.
That's why even in Esau's world, you know in Esau's world, if you marry a woman, if you divorce her before you consummate the marriage, you can still divorce her. You can annul that wedding because you haven't consummated it. What is consummated? That's for lack of a better term, coming. All right. Matter of fact, go to Wisdom of Solomon 7, and I want to say 17. I want to get that real quick because, like we say, when you have sex with a woman, that's a level of, again, for lack of a better term, it's a ritual. It's an act of it's magical. The very fact that you can lay down with your woman, you can enter into her, you ejaculate, and then a child comes.
Yeah, that's a miracle.
Go ahead, brother.
Because you said if you do it in righteousness, you know, in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, what did Joseph do with Mary? He had the angel came to him by night and told him to go into his wife. And he had sex with Mary, and he did it in righteousness. Therefore, who came? Yahweh Shai.
That's it.
Hey, even another word they actually call sex is chemistry, so to speak, when you build chemistry. Now, the highest form of chemistry is making a child. Because when you're dealing with even Esau's science, dealing with chemistry, it's the making and mixing of different chemicals to actually concoct something that's strong or great, a great substance. So when you actually having chemistry with a woman, sexual chemistry, what do? You actually make a child out of it. And the better chemistry you have with a woman, it actually dictates the genetic makeup of that child.
That's right, that's why, think about it. That's why, imagine the ritualistic side of us and ours as an Israelite. Can we get that too? So we were talking about that earlier, that a priest is supposed to lay with a virgin. Can somebody get that too? Because see, when you are a priest, you're so on a high level of connection. You're connected to the Lord in the spirit that when you lay down with that woman, and imagine the type of child you bring into this world. When you on a high level in the spirit yourself, as a man of the Lord, then you lay down with a virgin, right? You lay down with a virgin. You bring forth a child in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and then you acknowledge the laws. You acknowledge what Exodus the 13th chapter, that everything that breaks the matrix is the Lord's. So the first of everything is the Lord's. That's all ritualistic. But on the left-hand side, it's dirty. You want a woman that's a harlot, whorish, disgusting, foul. And then you do all these dirty levels of sex. All right? Now, read that in Wisdom of Solomon 7, and we're going to go back to that OTO 11th degree.
God, this is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
Yep.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood.
Being compacted in blood. Because semen is nothing more than blood. That's all it is. That's why when you read in Leviticus the 18th chapter, is it 18 or is it 17? I think when you read Leviticus the 17th chapter, when your copulation. Matter of fact, get that. Will somebody get that in Leviticus 17?
You was unclean.
Unclean. He was unclean. Because the Most High is real big on blood. See, that's why with the law, what happens? If people don't realize with the law, is it 15 Salaki, the water. If you mark your finger and you draw blood, you unclean. The Most High don't play when it comes to blood. That's why we cook the blood out of our food. That's when a woman has her issue with blood. She gotta go. Matter of fact, you got it? Well, let's see what he got. I was trying to get this one scripture. Genesis 9 and 5. Matter of fact, Genesis 9 and 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, that's where the life's found at. That's why when you lay with a woman, what happens? You putting another life in her. That's literally the magic, the majestic of the magic of the Heavenly Father that He gave us.
Yeah.
We literally, like, you think about it. It goes from you just laying with your woman in the heat of the moment. You know, y'all got your hormones on high. Yeah. You all in the moment. You loving it. You know what I'm saying? And in a sense of pheromones, all that, in a moment of excitement, you put child in her. You put a life in her.
Oh, that's why it creates a spark. You know?
Yeah. And these witches around the world, they do the same thing too. Paranormal activity show you that. That these witches that they mark certain children. They mark certain children. They mark children. Hey, man. Save lives of the righteous. That's it. You know, they mark these children on certain days that come out the womb, and they turn 18. And now that mark takes them over, and now they part of a coven. It's the same thing that happens. Yeah. These witches have sex on certain days to bring forth a child on a certain day to possibly sacrifice or sacrifice to Satan. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah, because everything is spiritual, man.
Yeah, it's spiritual. That's all we go into.
Of frequency.
Yep.
Hey, now going back to, I think I said this last week, even Freddy Krueger. They say the origins of how Freddy Krueger actually came about. His mother was actually she was a nun. She was actually known as a pure woman. She was a so-called virgin, and what she used to work is that she used to work in a psychiatric ward. So she used to basically be around psychopaths, and she used to actually, or she possibly wasn't a nun because she was in a psycho ward, but she was basically a virgin. But she used to work around psychopaths, and she used to actually nourish them and nurse them, take care of them. But what happened was, she actually, one weekend, she got locked in the psychiatric ward, and all those men in that psych ward actually raped her. She got raped for a weekend, and Freddy Krueger came about, and he was basically known as the son of 1,000 men or some shit like that. Some crazy ass narrative. So he was basically bugged out. She got inseminated by fucking hundreds of men. Possibly, as the story goes, of course.
But yeah, we're dealing with a fictional period, story, but that's based in truth. You know, because the scriptures tell you, matter of fact, go back to real quick, go to Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 8 real quick. I know we're jumping around a lot, but it's a hot subject. I think 4 and not 8. 4 and no, it's lucky 3.
Hey, and that's how these little fucking Damien kids be coming about, man. That's why a lot of times, like Scripture says, as the daughter, so is the mother. Because in Ezekiel, because these women, they'll be popping and dancing and flirting, having sex with all kind of men, and all they're doing is mixing themselves with multiple men, and then they'll get with one dude and he'll inseminate her, but she's been popped by 200, 300 different men, man, 60, 70 different men. So when that child come out, that child got all kind of complexes and demons on him, man.
Bring that out.
God, this is Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 12. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked.
Yeah, keep going.
God, their offspring is cursed.
Their offspring is cursed.
Wherefore, blessed is the barren that is undefiled.
Yeah, keep going.
Which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls.
Mm-hmm.
And blessed is the
eunuch.
The eunuch.
Hold on, real quick. I don't want to throw the spirit on. But
I got something out there.
What's it? Salaki, hold on real quick. I want to finish this point where it says they shall view. Hold on, what is that? Keep going in there, but skip over to read Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 5 through 6, and then go back to the 3rd chapter.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 4 and
Wisdom of
verse.
Solomon.
Salaki, talk to it, man. You said what?
What's that? 4.
Con, verse 4. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not fast, they shall be shaken with the wind, and though the forest...
Yeah, because a lot of these children out here are the product of ritualistic, voodoo, sexual magic,
satanic
acts. A lot of children are going to be conceived tonight in the name of Satan.
You got a lot of children that's born on this day. Or born on October 30th. Around this time of the month. This time of the month is extremely wicked, man.
Everybody curse should not go in and curse should not be out. Not only the nation of Israel, but everybody.
Yeah, because today's what? A hot day of intercourse without condoms too, man. Because this is just a free fall weekend, man.
See?
You know?
Keep going.
Con, and through the force of the winds, they shall be rooted out.
Yep. So the Most High is going to root out all this wickedness and the children of the wicked. Keep going.
Con, verse 5. The imperfect branches shall be broken off.
Yep.
The fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat. Yea, meat for nothing.
Meat for nothing. Good for nothing, man. All right, keep going.
Con, for children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial.
Read that again.
Con, verse 6. For children begotten of unlawful beds.
Created on unlawful beds. Them fucking hotels. Here it is, there's been 20, 30 people that's been popping on top of that bed. And a lot of times that's where you meet these harlots at. A lot of these children be children of harlots, man.
Yeah.
What is it saying, Amos? Thy wife shall become a harlot.
Yep. Amos 7 and 17.
So these children are children of whores, man.
Yeah. Created of unlawful beds.
Created of unlawful beds. See?
Con, verse 6.
Matter of fact, when does Halloween come in the night?
Wednesday.
The 31st.
Which is Wednesday? When's the Sabbath? Tuesday night to Wednesday.
Yep.
I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead.
Con, verse 6. For children begotten of unlawful beds.
So unlawful beds. So when Halloween does come around next week, the actual day of it, people are gonna really get their freak on. Here it is. You're not supposed to lay down and have sex on that day, but a lot of people gonna be getting it in nasty.
Freak nasty.
Just freak nasty. I love that scripture. Read it again from the
A
top.
lot of these women gonna get pregnant getting trains ran on them, man. And it's a lot of that happens a lot. You know, because even though we don't experience these things, we're not in the world.
That's why we're reporting on it.
Yeah, that's why we're reporting on it. Everything we bring out is manifesting somewhere, man. This is the news. We ain't gotta have the document of Tiffany. It just happened to Tiffany last week.
Breaking news with a picture next to us.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Fucking the screen right here showing the images of the different women. It happened to all these hoes, man.
Yes. You
You got to interview. How did you have your child?
That child might not be yours, man. You might get some paternity tests.
That happens a lot too. These false ass paternity tests. A lot of these children don't be all these different men. Cause what? These women been sleeping around for 5-6 minutes, and then they settle with you, and they'll have you take care of the child. A lot of these women already know they be pregnant by another dude, and they'll actually have you have sex with them without a condom and throw the child on you, man. That happens a lot.
Happens a lot. Yeah.
And that child comes out as a fucking demon, man.
Children created in unlawful beds.
When the scriptures say that mistress women shall bring forth monsters.
God damn.
Same thing.
These children are fucking monsters, man.
Same thing happened. Crazy.
That's crazy, man. Demonic, man. Children created in the name of Satan. God damn, man.
Now every child you see, you want to rebuke that.
That's why the Lord said in Ezekiel the 9th chapter that He gonna slay utterly old and young, man, because these children are demons, man. All right. Yeah, the scriptures say they come out the womb. What is it? Basically, orphan lion.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we Psalms 49, I believe. 50. I always get 49, 50. I always get 49, 55, 58 in them chapters confused. But you know, it's speaking of the fact. Well, we know that's talking about Esau and the wicked. Hey, but you little nigglets that come out the womb too. You come out the womb off too.
Hell yeah.
Why? Because you don't follow the ritualistic aspects that the Lord has set forth. Why? The boy gets sacrificed, not sacrificed, see? Satan, man, slip of the tongue. The boy is supposed to be, what am I trying to say? Circumcised on the 8th day. The mother and the child is unclean if it's a boy for how long?
I think 90 days.
No.
How long is
No,
it?
Talking about the woman? Oh, the boy.
With the boy,
the child,
like
if the woman has
12
a
days?
son, if the woman has a son, how long is the son and the
14.
woman unclean? Nope, 30 days.
30 days.
30 days. Yeah.
And then if she has a daughter,
night,
yeah,
right?
no, I think it's 60.
6 like.
Yeah.
So if a woman has that woman and that child, if she has a daughter, they're unclean for 60 days from the time that it comes out the womb. That's all part of the.
Oh, well, but what happens with these women? These women that have
Oh,
sex
shit.
while they're pregnant with multiple men at the same time. A lot of times, men covet in this society
Pregnant women.
And if she get popped, while she got popped prior to her being pregnant by multiple men, while she's pregnant, and then right after she dropped the child, 2-3 days later, she getting popped again, man. On a period, which that's another ritual too, man. The place is just foul. This whole place has to burn, man. The more and more details we go into, the more in the spirit that we break this place down, we look from the Most High standpoint why the Most High just got to destroy this whole place to the point that this place can't even be inhabited again, man.
Can't even be on the map no more.
Can't even be on the map.
You know?
Leviticus 12, it says if she has a man child, it's for 7 days.
7 days unclean?
Oh, it's only 7 days unclean?
Yeah, Leviticus 12:2, it says, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of separation of her, for her infirmity, shall she be unclean.
What about a woman child?
And then verse 3 says, in the 8th day, the flesh of the foreskin shall be circumcised. Verse 4, and she shall then continue in the blood of a purifying 30 and 3 days.
That's it.
The blood of purification.
3
That's
and
it.
30 days.
33 days.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
So what about the woman
The
child?
woman, verse 5,
60.
I'm just going to keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading, just read it.
She shall touch not hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, but the days of her purifying be fulfilled. Verse 5.
That was the times of a cleansing.
All that nastiness that's up in there, let the Lord let it pass. Like a period. Like when a woman has her cycle, which we were going to read about, what happens? She does her 7 days. Now a woman's period, some women's periods only last like 3 days. Right? She might get on Monday, and by Wednesday she's basically not bleeding no more. But that don't mean you can go in.
There's a lot of internalization that's going on.
Right.
That's the external, the waste. Because when a woman has a period, she's flushing out eggs to restore her eggs. And that's why women, when at a certain age, they go through what's the word?
Menopause?
No.
Menopause.
Yeah.
Why they go through menopause and they don't go through their period no more? Because they're not fertile anymore to actually produce eggs, and they stop becoming barren. See,
Which that word menopause, that's some satanic Esau shit anyway. That's the Lord. Really, a woman when she reaches menopause, that's because of Satan, man. With this food and these chemicals stopping a woman, because what cuts that? Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah got pregnant at 99. The word menopause, really every period that a woman gets, that's actually menopause when you break down the epitome of that word. Mena meaning like a month, pause. So her pause every month that you can't deal with her, and so on and so forth. The Lord ain't had to set up. Think about it. Everything the Lord creates keeps
it's
it always degenerates. Nothing just hits a stop and it's like, well, that's it. That's Esau with all these chemicals and shit, man.
That's his
Blockage.
name. That's his name. The Most High name. Synonym for future. Meaning he always keep going.
No, it's endless.
It's always generating.
That's why it's a sin to think about the past as good times that you ever had, and then leave to the future because you always stuck in your time.
Yep.
Yep.
Was there any more to that? The woman child. Because so basically the ritual was she was unclean those 7 days from the day that the child was born, and from that point, if it was a boy, they would then get to the 8th day. She would be unclean with that situation to the 8th day where they would circumcise the boy. But then from that point, right?
33 days.
Huh?
It was 33 days.
33 days. Then the purification of her blood.
33 is the spiritual number 2.
Yeah, that's when the Lord.
That's when it was.
And this is for the female, Leviticus 12:5. But if she bear a male child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of the purifying 66 days. So 66 days.
66 days. So one is 33, one is 66. Which we was all wrong with this. We was kind of close. Well, you was the closest.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we closer than most.
Yeah, we're closer than most. But yeah, the point is that was the time of purification, because the scriptures always set days of holiness, unclean days. Some days you have to be shut up before you can actually congregate. Sometimes when women will actually go through the purification or their period, which a period, the word period really represents time. That time would be the time where she would actually reserve herself from sex because her body is going through certain waste ridding acts and things of that nature. But what happens in this society? Women turn up on those days, man.
Yes.
You got men that actually love having sex with them on their period,
Yeah,
man.
niggas will say, a red light never stopped me.
Oh, that's all, man. Oh, but that's spiritual though, because what happens when a woman actually
Niggas off, man.
actually when she's on her period, the color is red, meaning to stop. That's an image. The Most High even create these different colors for a certain reason, meaning that's not the time for you to go inside. But what
But a nigga
leap head first.
show you that a nigga is. Hey, you know niggas eat the box on the period.
Oh man, that's all.
You know they calling it. Let me not. I'm not even. Say it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Jace know that the woman put the period blood in the spaghetti, some New Orleans ritual.
That's satanic too.
Yeah.
You know, but Jake don't care about that shit. Why? And you know, the box don't even work right. You know, we was in the world, all right? Scriptures tell you we know. 'Cause, you know, like I said, we done been there. You know, horny niggas in America. Not the law, these demons. And the box don't even work right on them between that period, man. That you really gotta give it 7 days to get back right, man. You try to deal with it on the 4th or the 5th day, it ain't bouncing back. It ain't right, man. So stay out of it.
Stay out of it, man. Just wait. It makes it better. The wait makes it better.
Matter of fact, don't wait. Go get another one.
That's why the Lord got.
That's why the Lord gave us.
That's how you know men are supposed to have multiple women to deal with anyway.
What you supposed to do on that 7-day period, or the
Or
whole,
the
66 days?
Yeah, 60. Oh,
We supposed to be just blue
Wait,
balls?
yeah.
That's them that finna tuck inside of you.
Come on, man.
I got a precept though.
Dragging them with you. Go ahead.
Going into this, the wickedness of this place and these wicked women and going back to these demonic children too. So Rock 23 and 22. I'll start at 22. Matter of fact, 21. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspected he shall be taken. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she hath trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly she hath played the whore in adultery.
Yep.
And brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit.
Now go back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter.
What that mean? They kill that little nigga in her womb, and the priest would make inquisition, and we could go into that even too. When a woman would actually commit adultery in the law, what the priest would do? They would give her a specific concoction. That concoction would dictate if she was playing the hoe or not. And if she was pure, it wouldn't actually do nothing to her body.
Y'all leg was rotten or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that?
if she was playing the harlot, I think her stomach would swell and her leg would rot, man.
Like, damn, she get that kiss of death from.
She get the kiss of death from the priest. You know some.
Hey, what's going on, man? Okay, hey.
Y'all good? Jake.
Hey, you came back. Hey, he one of the few that ever say that. I ain't even mad at you.
I was really just walking by.
Hey, that's what's up. Well, we told you we'd be here.
I knew,
See,
like
we
subconsciously, I knew. That's why I came.
Hey, that's what's up. Well, we just going into the word. If you got a chance, you could listen to, you know.
Yeah, I gotta go to the store real quick.
All right, you do your thing.
But you wanted a little bit more on that?
Yeah, go now. Read that Wisdom of Solomon. That
4 and 6.
yeah, 4 and 6.
Wisdom of Solomon, 4 and verse 6.
See, I ain't shook my hand. Shook my hand
Like oh, Jake.
Real phone.
You know, only niggas do like this. I don't even shake hands like that. That's a nigga.
For children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents and their trial.
Now that ties into what he just read. Read what you just read again, because that goes hand in hand with that.
For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she hath trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly she hath played the whore in adultery, and brought children by another man.
That's a high form of wickedness right there. And really, that adulterous, wicked, bringing forth children, that shit really came back heavy on the scene with our parents' generation. I was just talking about this the other night. I was like, when the fuck did niggas start taking care of other niggas' children? And I was really thinking on that. Because our grandfathers were in the spirit of taking care of another nigga's kids.
Oh, no.
And our grandparents would like pop our grandmother, create like 10, 11 children with her, and he might have a whole other family across town.
That's how it was with my grandfather.
He popping another woman. He got like, you know, your father got brothers and siblings on the other side of town that he don't know about. But your grandfather taking care of that house. It ain't another nigga in the house taking care of them children, man. But then for our parents, that fucking generation born between 55 and 70,
that crack era,
the people that was born, that was grown during the crack era,
that's done. That's when Esau really got the full control of that. Because prior to that, you had the 70s, the 60s. Jake had a little bit of sense back then. They had a little bit of, the women actually had a little bit of moral structure. They was somewhat about dealing with their men. You know, the music was somewhat uplifting the women. Women, it was more submissive. When the 80s and 90s, it was all about crack rap. Women telling niggas they ain't shit, they pieces of shit, they could go suck off the next nigga in your face and you ain't gonna do shit about it. Basically, that's what these women be saying in these songs, and it was all about the men actually subjecting themselves. That was the totality of role reversal, man.
And that was the nail in the coffin in our nation, man. Our parents' generation, that's how you know that this is the end, because it really can't get much worse than what was already done to us. Really, we just feeling the effects of what's going on. It really can't. There's nothing else to be done to destroy us.
Yeah, we destroy it.
We destroy it. All right.
It's a building process at this point.
Yeah, that's it. That's why it's us and them. All right. Check it out. And I want to go back to that. You didn't finish that. We got to bring out that meaty 11th degree, man.
This is Matthew 23 and verse 33. Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the domination of hell?
Yeah, and this is the generation of vipers, man. Vipers and snakes, demons, wolves.
Go to Mark 8 and 30.
This is literally Generation Z. This is the end of generation. Like the brother said, there ain't no more. There's no more destruction that could come. Crack already came and swept through. Syphilis, all these different diseases, the STDs, HIV, the gay bomb let off, transgenders,
broken up,
poverty,
families broken up, prison.
Women have compassed men. Adultery. Women compass men. Children compass in the.
Yahushua gotta come back in these
times. Yahushua gotta come back now. This is the perfect time.
Yep. Jake getting killed all day long.
And this is the time where the last fruits that's coming in this thing, man. The last fruits is really the first fruits. That's the spirit of it too, man.
Yeah.
What the Most High said through Paul, the Most High said the apostles last. All right, because the Lord always saves the best for last. Even though we're in the worst time, that's how you know that the truth, as it is written in Second Esdras, the truth shall bring forth, and the individuals is going to practice the truth, or is going to come back to those that remain in her. All right.
That's how it was during the time of the Maccabees too.
During the time of the Maccabees.
Going through all that hell.
It's during the time of all kingdoms. During the time of when the kingdoms are on a decline, the men of the Lord raise up and they condemn the kingdom, and the Most High actually destroys that kingdom and delivers the prophets and the priests, and the kings, the righteous judges, the men that actually administer to the thing. You got something?
Okay. Yeah, all right. This is Luke 11 verse 49. Therefore also said the wisdom of the Most High, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute.
That's the times that we're living in. The Lord has sent forth prophets and apostles on all these different streets. It ain't no coincidence you got men of the Lord that's raised up in all these major cities. Chicago, one of the wickedest cities in the world. You got one of the biggest great millstone camps there, man. Condemning the hell out of that place. All right, New York,
LA, New Orleans.
It ain't no coincidence New York is the empire, like we said earlier. You got the head church there, the main camp. California, Atlanta, Dallas, all these different cities where all this wickedness is dead set. These super zones of wickedness, you got the high zones of righteousness condemning those places, man. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord raised up men of the Lord and Sodom and Gomorrah to condemn that place. The angels had to step in Sodom and Gomorrah and condemn that place before the overthrow.
That's right.
And deliver men. So the angels of the Lord are here now through the spirit of what? Terrestrial men. Stepping in, delivering men through the spirit, like it says in Obadiah, The Lord is raising up saviors and condemning kingdoms, man.
That's it.
Some on that.
Okay. And this is Luke 11:50.
And that's how you know there ain't nothing better than the prophet's job, man. Even though we catching the grunt of hell, at the end of the day, we're gonna see the glory, man. We're gonna see we're gonna be able to rejoice.
That's right. That's
All this pain is gonna actually what's the word pay off, man.
It's gonna turn into joy.
It's gonna turn into joy.
Okay.
Which truly, that's true appreciation. When you truly appreciate something, it's really a rag to riches story, man. When you born with everything, at the end of the day, you won't really appreciate nothing. Because you already got everything. But when you ain't had shit, and then you get something from your lowliness, that's how you appreciate something.
He ain't learned from that nigga here in Georgia that was babysitting them demon childs, and that woman followed him. Like, see, you niggas, you gonna learn to completely separate yourself from these crackers, man. Look, what if them children they running in the streets? He ain't got no business watching them devil children, man.
Right. You gonna run them
Now, if they would have got killed, who would have been in the blame?
the nigga.
Him.
They would have went to his past.
They would have hung his ass. Keep going. You got more of that.
This Luke 11:50, that the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation.
This generation. Beautiful. Now, go to Mark 8:38 real quick.
God, this is Mark 8 and verse 38. Whatsoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words, and this adulterous and sinful generation.
This adulterous and sinful generation. We were just going into the unlawful beds, children created through adultery. All right, that's this generation. This is the generation where all this matters of wickedness is at an all-time high, man. The nation, this place can't get gayer. See, that's Jake, man. This place can't get gay. How much? What could make Atlanta more gay? The only thing that could make Atlanta more gay is if these faggots went on a crusade to killing straight people.
Damn.
Like literally, they took guns and they basically started a homosexual holocaust and came to your door and said, "Are you ready to be gay?"
Oh, just like in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. Are you gay?
The angel of the Lord go ahead.
See, that's why it can't get no worse. It can't get any worse.
I mean, they doing it to the toddlers.
Well, you know they doing that in Chicago. In Chicago, they actually have rape gangs. Homosexual rape gangs that go around dominating niggas, man. No? So we at the end. It can't get no worse. Everything, every scheme and plot, every little satanic thing that Esau wanted to do to release in his place, he already did it. He already practiced all his wickedness. He already ran out of ammo, man. Now it's the Lord. Now it's time for the Lord to bring out the big guns, man. I got a precept too after you.
This fast? I'm going to continue in verse 38. Of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed.
Yeah, if you are indulging in witchcraft and all manners of wickedness, you're going to be ashamed of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Why? Because you're not doing anything in His honor. We have a high level of feeling ashamed of how we are. And we are rehearsing the righteous acts. That's why the Most High said that in that day, all eyes shall see Him and shall be well. Because all eyes need to see what the hell is, oh shit, all this is coming to an end. And this power is not here to save you. So you're going to know it in that day. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to know it. If you've been living a very wicked life, you know that. I don't know what that is, but it's here to kill me.
Oh, I got something. You
got something on that? Bring it
gonna
up.
be caught with your pants down.
In most cases, literally, because like Apostle Tahar was going into, he said it's going to be as in the days of Noah. People are going to be given in marriage.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of you going to be caught with your pants down, with your rod in the eye of Horus. Hey, ain't good for your ass. Hey, the scriptures say, if a man be righteous, if a man be just still. And if he be unjust, let him be unjust. So really, hey, that's on you. Lord willing, I continue in the faith. I don't be caught in no vile ways. But a lot of you gonna be caught with pork in your teeth. All that, man. All manners of wickedness. A lot of you gonna be caught with your pants around your knees.
And what's the first thing you're gonna do is call on the Lord. A lot of these so-called Israelites, man, they know the name. A lot of these guys that actually heard the name Yahweh Shai, they ain't gonna be praying the horse. They see that big mega-sized cherry on top of their head. They gonna repent. They gonna know that Hebrew instantly. Nigga, what happened to the Metanetta?
Go ahead.
All right, this is Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers,
witches. That's what we going into.
and idolaters.
Yeah, because the dope boy gonna make all kinds of money in this weekend.
Oh yeah,
He gonna be sold out. All the pill man is gonna be sold out. All right, the coke man is gonna be sold out. But mainly that pill man.
Yeah, that pill man.
That's the main demonic source that Jake and Doge is in now. Pills.
Jay want to know what Percocets and Xannies at this week.
Oh, what you think about it? I was looking at some nigga on Instagram and he was talking about popping a woman for an hour plus on a perk, man. What you think gonna be happening when they to get into these sexual ritualistic things? They gonna need something to listen, man. It'd be hard in this society. It'd be hard to be able to deal with one woman, let alone you about to get indulged in an act of dealing with 8, 9, 10 women. Jake gonna go all in, man. Jake gonna mix a whole bunch of concoctions together between the pills and the liquor.
Oh, what they have mainly in these raids, those fucking hunch punches, man. And those hunch punches, they'll actually open up all kind of pills, mix it in. It's different types of spiked liquor. And then you have niggas that'll come to the party and spike it more. Like, damn, it wasn't already demonic enough.
You remember when Bugs Bunny and them when they used to make them tonics and them concoctions, and they dropped that little last drop on it. That motherfucker, they be like,
that smoke come up, that should be a skull. A goddamn skull smoke that come out.
They be looking like a nuclear missile. The roll, the scroll come at the top. He gotta reach over. You see the drops. You want to switch around? Yeah. Okay, yeah. However you want to do it, bro.
I got precept too. You done with that? You can finish that. All right, let me start my time.
Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers.
Read that over.
Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving.
Fearful, they're unbelieving. Because a lot of these people, they claim they believe, which believe is a form of embracement. The Lord said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right. So if you truly love or embrace the Lord, you have to keep his commandments.
Yep.
Love is what? Keeping the commandments. So if these individuals, they show their hatred by abhorring the words of the Lord and embracing this system, this world.
Yep.
Continue on.
It says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable.
It's all kind of abominations walking out this world, man. Mainly these women.
Yeah.
These women house a lot of demons. You had this individual going back to the Satanism. They say that going into these so-called ritual sex acts at the casting couch, they say the women get it way worse than the men.
Hell
because
yeah.
what? They say the women got more holes, man. That's foul and filthy. They put all, you had this one, I don't even want to get into that. I'll just drop that. Well, this one woman actually was speaking about how she went to Dubai, and she basically had to she was making money at the top.
Right, we just we just a newscast.
We just bringing out what's going on around.
We ain't making this up. So, hey, man, speak on it, bro.
But the one woman, she was basically speaking about all the filthy shit that went on in her prostitute life. She was, forced to get beat up and stick fishes and up these other men's behinds and all kind of foul shit. Man, this place is abominable, man.
Yeah, what you had that devil years ago, Richard Gere. I think they played that Pretty Woman, and he had got snuck into the hospital because he had a gerbil stuck up his ass.
What the fuck?
A gerbil literally was stuck in his rectum.
Oh, you had that one dude that died because he actually had sex with a horse. Basically destroyed all his internal organs. And we ain't even going. This is what we hear on a regular. This ain't the dark side of. That's a whole nother world. Nobody even really knows about what the fuck is the dark side of the internet, man.
Right, when they talk about the dark web, I'm like, the web I got is dark enough. That shit dark. Yeah. What the fuck is a dark web?
What the fuck is a
Man,
dark
the
web?
Esau be on the dark web.
Hey, what the scripture say in Ephesians the 5th chapter, it's a shame to speak about the things that be doing in darkness. That's a dark web scripture, man.
Yes.
The Lord don't even want us to see that, because if some of us actually seen or heard about that,
He won't allow us to see it.
We bug out.
We bug out. We bug out, man.
We about bugged out down
Yeah,
here.
man. Certain things you see be fucking you up in the head, man. Like you be like, man, I didn't even need to know that, man. You know, like you said that, like I had the video on bestiality, and I just did a basic generic Google search. Man, I hit them goddamn images. I wish I had never hit images, man. I should have just stuck to the news. I was like, that's things I saw. I was like, man, I wouldn't even share these pictures for other men. I don't even want other men to see this shit.
Full of abomination.
Like I remember there was this one article I read on Vice where it's a farm, it's a dog farm in like Russia or one of them countries over there where basically they breed dogs only to have sex with humans. Like them dogs have never had sex with another dog. They only know how to have sex with humans. And people pay top dollars for them dogs. This is the world we live in.
And you had this one, and I read this in this article, and I'm gonna throw it back, the scripture back in Revelation, because we're going into these abominations. But they have this event, this homosexual event, where all kind of different homosexuals, they'll masquerade themselves, and they'll go into these different parties, and they play this game. I think it's called like Russian roulette. So they'll put like 3-4 HIV homosexuals in the midst of, say for instance, 40, 50 of them, and they'll all pop each other.
That's called it's called bug catching parties. That's the actual term of it.
That's what happened in that Kubrick Stanley movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
No. These parties is literally well, you have bug catching parties and you have like what he's saying. What the bug catching parties is, you have people that are actually trying to get infected by a homosexual man that has HIV. They're purposely trying to be infected so they can catch a check from the medical field. Because that's a disability at that point.
Well, that's why first, Salakia, that's why first, we know it as AIDS today, but it was first called GRID, which was gay-related immune deficiency, something like that.
Yeah.
They called it after their gay asses, man, because that's where it originated from.
Then later on it was called AIDS. Yeah?
And later on they changed it to AIDS.
Jinkies. Were they wrapping it up?
All right, it says, let me start from the top. Revelation 21:8. With the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers.
It's all kind of murder that's going on. Over there in Sonoma County, California, you have all kind of ritual sacrifices. And that happens all over the world. We just dealing with certain local regions, but all over the world, certain parts of Thailand. Because the weird part about this world is laws change in different states, different jurisdictions, and things of that nature. You'll go to certain parts of the world, and certain individuals got diplomatic immunity. So it ain't nothing to create a sex trafficking ring. A whole city, certain cities is designed just for little boys, man. Pedophilia.
Atlanta.
Like you just mentioned
Atlanta.
You just mentioned Taiwan. That is a heavy place.
Taiwan.
For pedophilia, man. Esau can go over. He can travel in that business suit and appear to be this clean-cut guy, but he going over there to pop little boys.
Oh, Dominican Republican?
Yeah.
They go like them white guys.
Yeah, because why? Listen, we in America, and there's a saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what the fuck? What is the term for when you travel from Atlanta and go to goddamn some country in the middle of Africa? You don't think motherfuckers is taking that dirt and leaving it there?
Because they got money to.
They got the money to do it. Yeah. That's why we were saying the higher the level. See these $100 hoes. You know what I'm saying? $100 hoe. A man is paying a whore $100. He's just trying to go get his nut off. That's it. He's just trying to go there, give him a little quick 30 minutes, hour, however he's feeling frisky. He's just trying to get his shit off. All right, but when you start dealing with
$20,000 bitches,
these
$3,000 whores, $10,000 whores.
These mothers are intercontinental, man.
Intercontinental. Women that actually get trips, they actually pay for their ticket. 3, 4, 5 days buying them luxury bags.
Mm-hmm. They give them a card, the debit card. They shopping. They give them $50,000 just to come.
Going back to that chick, she said she ate so much feces. I just use gotta use a word. She said she ate so much feces that she got immune to the shit. She became numb.
She said Barakatha.
I don't know.
But this place is foul, man.
It sounded like she said Barakatha. See, you people, Jake, man, what did the elder do? It's gonna come a time where it ain't gonna be cool to be an Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
That one dude just walked past earlier, Shabbat Shalom.
I didn't hear that.
We continue on that. But we going into all these things because this is the time that we live in. Especially this is Halloween, so this is the highest level of demonism, and this is a worldwide thing, man. Over there in
Worldwide
China,
phenomenon.
all throughout Asia. Hell, hey, Jerusalem, Israel, them gutter rats is doing the foulest things over there in that land.
Amalek is getting it in.
Amalek getting it in.
That's how you know we're at the end of all ends, man.
It can't get worse, man. I got one more. If you don't mind, we can close up on two.
Okay.
Go ahead and read that. Go ahead, Habakkuk.
You got finish that?
Yeah, let me finish it up. And whoremongers and sorcerers,
Pimps,
idolaters,
sorcerers, witches, and witchcraft being pumped out through these pharmaceuticals, like we said, dope boys. Hey, and really these pharmaceutical companies, they're being closed down. Their market is shooting up to the heavens. All kind of drugs is being sold. You got these different pharmaceutical representatives, so to speak. A lot of times they'll take all those different drugs and they'll pitch them on the streets to these different pushers, man.
Yep.
It's the same thing they did with heroin and crack.
Well, shit, look at malt liquor.
Yeah.
It's something as basic as that. That shit was created to destroy the black man's testosterone and sperm count and all that shit, man. That's witchcraft, man. It really ain't no brother in the truth, man. Don't be drinking no goddamn OE, man. Fucking Coke 45 and shit. Don't be doing that shit. Steel reserves. You're just destroying your body, man.
Gotta go into the
They probably get them fuzz off the floor, man. Put it in the can and shit.
That ain't even beer, man. That's fucking.
Remember that nigga that was in our camp? They gotta say his name. We'll say it on camera. You know. Talking about that story where he was drinking malt liquor and ended up butt naked in his grandmother's house. Yeah, we don't put your name on. You doing enough shameful shit towards yourself that I ain't even gotta put your name on that.
yeah. And all liars.
You should have took that shit to the grave.
Liars, deceivers. Yeah, you should have kept that out. Why the hell would you tell somebody
They should have told me that shit, but I got enough integrity. I ain't gonna put him out there like that.
What you do last night?
Shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.
Yeah, all these individuals are just trash.
Speaking of which, read that last one.
It says,
Oh, no, that's funny.
Chick-fil-A, you know.
alright, damn. And sorcerers,
Listen. Go ahead.
it says, and sorcerers and adulterers and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire.
Yeah,
and
not by no
brimstone.
goddamn volcanoes, nigga. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Yeah, that's funny.
Continuing on, says, which is the
The
second
most I got a
best-
sense of humor, man.
He does.
The Most High said that. Quavo got that song, the biggest alley-oop. That was, man.
Well, you ain't gonna say it. Well, I'm hitting it.
Right?
When the Lord said the creatures mourning for the righteousness to rule,
Yeah.
that's true, man. Because when the Lord revealed people their own shame,
Man, since you said that, that's a beautiful point, man. You gotta think, we don't even really, which of course we know what goes on. We talk about dogs and cats and shit, man. What the fuck be going on with these lions and shit, man? All these different animals in the circus. All these different animals is mourning. Fucking being injected with all kind of stuff. I was looking at the Tuskegee, the Tuskegee experiment. How they actually just injected poison in all those people, gave everybody syphilis. The children actually came out with syphilis. They do the same thing with a lot of these animals. They actually put herpes in these different animals. You got these different turtles with fucking herpes. How the fuck can an animal catch an STD?
How, Sway?
oh, show was man,
Hey,
man,
dealing
made.
with the devil.
Yeah, it was man.
With the devil, anything is possible.
Esau, man.
Anything carnal is possible.
That's why Esau has to be erased off the planet, out of the universe. Fuck the planet Earth. He's got to just be erased out of existence. Period. He has to be deleted.
That never happened.
He has to be. That's why the scriptures tell you that he should
Yeah,
be. Basically, you're gonna look high and low for Esau in that day.
Job 20.
Yeah, because he just has to be erased. From you talking about erasing us from what happened to us in the history books, nigga? You about to be erased from everything, man.
He ain't gonna have no glory like these other nations.
No, he ain't. After a while, only the Israelites and really the elect of the nation of Israel are gonna have a true understanding of Esau. These other nations, Elam, Ham, they ain't gonna know nothing about it. Edomites.
No.
That's gonna be knowledge for us.
Yeah.
Good. Now bring that out. We close up there.
This is Habakkuk 1 and verse 13.
And this is why the Lord has to destroy this fucking place.
Destroy.
Thou art of purer eyes
The Lord's eyes are pure,
than to behold evil.
and there's none but evil here. So the Most High is so. Imagine, you know the scriptures say in second Ezra.
Add to it.
Right, what you said? That's the stammering lips, man. What'd you say? You said second
Solomon.
Wisdom of
wisdom of
Solomon.
Solomon.
What is that?
It tells you, what was I gonna say about
Solomon.
second Ezra, second Ezra 8, where it says the Lord shall begin to visit.
Oh yeah.
The Lord is not even, think about it, the Lord's not even looking at this place right now.
Oh, second is a 9.
Second Ezra 9. The Heavenly Father's not even looking at this wicked ass place right now. So imagine when he finally looks.
What the?
That's like you coming home to a shitty house. That's like, here it is, you've been going away for a long time. You got a nice mansion. Cause this is really a mansion. It's supposed to be paradise.
Yeah.
The world is actually a super mansion. What's under the earth is all kind of gold, silver, minerals, diamonds. On top of the earth, we supposed to, you know,
Dainties.
dainties.
On earth as it is in
We're
heaven.
supposed to be the
Heaven's
kings of the
paradise
earth.
too. Yeah.
The Lord, you know, like the Lord looking away, and then he come back and see all this fucking filthiness going on, trash people, fucking cannibalism, the world being totally destroyed. Like you look at the world, certain parts of the cities from bird's eye view, you see nothing but trash, man. Plastic all in the ocean. Like how the fuck the plastic get there?
Plastic in space.
Plastic in space.
So imagine when the Lord, imagine the heat and the anger that's going to be on the Heavenly Father when he visits, when he looks at this place.
Smoking his nostrils.
He's not even looking at this place right now. He's getting report back from the angels. He's hearing our cries, but he's not even dealing with us. Our cries, this right now, this is a form of us crying out.
That's right.
But who's hearing us? The angels.
The angels.
The angels are doing what? Carrying it back to Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is reporting to the Heavenly Father.
That's
But
right.
the Heavenly Father, he ain't even looking at this shit right now.
Right. That's why they continue in their madness. This world.
Man, he gonna look. He gonna, like you said, it's imagine like it's like the gin and juice video. Here it is. You think you leaving Snoop in the dog pound at home, playing video games and shit, and you come back home early, and it's a bunch of niggas in the street with 40-ounce bottles and shit. All right, keep going.
Come to continue verse 13. It says, and canst not look on iniquity.
And it's not look on iniquity. So when the Heavenly Father does make that glance this way, and he sees how Babylon's sins have basically, the sins of this place have basically went to the fourth dimension, tapped the Heavenly Father, be like, look, he gonna look, spiritually be emphasis, and he gonna destroy this fucking place, man. Because he can't look at this shit. We don't even want to look at it.
That's right.
Hey, the Lord was pissed off with certain countries even back then, Sodom and Gomorrah and the old world. The old world ain't got shit on this world. During the time of Noah, when all that wickedness and imagination, that was you gotta remember too. The population wasn't even that big. They probably had it wasn't even 1 billion people at that time.
They had this technology.
They had this technology.
Think about it. Look at what the internet did to this world, man. Cell phones, towers, the concrete, what the animals is doing.
Animals. A lot of these animals going extinct. You killing. Here it is. You killing the little creatures. It took the Lord when he built all this stuff. What he said, it is good.
Yeah.
The white man came into power. Everything got destroyed, man. Eradicated, mutated. All kind of animals that ain't even supposed to exist here.
All kind of ligers. There's foods on the earth that ain't supposed to be here. GMOs. You got all kind of GMO babies.
People mix. Yeah, I was gonna say that genetic mixing.
Be afraid to eat. Have sex with a woman.
I just want to read this through.
Yeah, bring it up.
This is Job 15:14. I'm gonna read down to 15. It says, "What is man that he should be clean, and he is in which is born of a woman that he should be righteous? Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Yeah, the heavens are not clean in his sight." That's it.
And the Lord is a perfectionist, man. So look at this place. This place is not even close to perfect.
It's twisted.
It's twisted, upside down.
We're gonna destroy it, man. Go ahead, finish that up and then close up.
Come.
And get out of Halloween time.
Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously.
Yeah, read that last part again, Salakia.
Come. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that dealt treacherously.
Treacherously. We just went through an hour plus of the treacherousness of Halloween. And that's just that is just a 24-hour period.
A lot of bullshit going on.
That's 24 hours of just 24 hours. How many other? It's 364, 24 more periods on the planet Earth where wickedness is exalted,
Pumping up, yeah.
pumped up.
Pumping.
Come on, man. All right, so is that you finished with that?
Wow.
All right, finish it.
God. And holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he. That's all on that.
That's it. So with that, man, put up them prayers, man. Pray for the Akim, and pray that the Lord destroy this place, man. All right. So with that, we'll give all the glory and honor to Yahweh. All right. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Let's get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. See, brother was like, nah.